Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unfiltered, uncensored, uncomfortable conversation.
All right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBC, band culture, music education, and more. Hey, Portia.
Hey.
How's it going?
I'm tired, man.
I feel like I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays.
Oh my God. I'm beat down. Every year I get to a point where I hit a wall. This year the wall hit me. I'm tired.
Well, I hope it ain't hit you too hard. It ain't knocked no teeth out or nothing like that, did it?
It's been a season.
It's been a season. And your season ain't over yet.
No, it ain't gonna be. It's not over till February.
Right. Y'all are still prepping right now, right?
Yeah, and once we come back from Pasadena, we're going to Atlanta on February 4th.
For the Atlanta daddy. Yeah. Me and the wife are just talking about possibly making it up there.
Come on, guys.
See, but this time I'm not gonna say it. I'm not,
until it happens.
When we get close, then that's when it's gonna happen. That's when we know for sure that we're gonna be there. Then I can actually solidify that we are gonna be in the building. But we ain't making it to no Pasadena. I can tell you that.
No.
I know that was the talk that me and her were having, but that ain't gonna happen. That ain't popping up at all. So we have had a week off, man. It has been a crazy situation. The whole family got sick last week. So I had to take it off. But I was down. Wife went down. One of the children went down. I think both of the children went down, at least I think for a short time. So we had to take a week off, but we got a lot to discuss because we got a
lot to discuss.
We missed a whole lot. And so I actually just kind of want to go back to last weekend and all of the great things that went down last weekend. And since I got Portia here, we gonna start it right from Norfolk and A&T. I will tell you, watching just that battle again, just to be able to see. Did they sit y'all on a different side?
From when we were in the band, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But the last time they went in 18, that's where we sat.
Yeah, I've never. I guess I missed the one in 18 because I've never seen the band sit over there. So for me watching that, I thought I was like, "What is this? This is weird." But I'm going to definitely say that, and this has nothing to do with me being an alumni of Norfolk State University. I just will say that Norfolk was the better band for me.
Oh, we had a time.
I'm just gonna say it. And I know that Justin was there.
Yes, he was.
And so I know that I'm gonna wait for his comments as well. But I will definitely say that to me, Norfolk had the better band. I thought the stand presence was, for me, far better on Norfolk side than it was on A&T side. I will say this, Norfolk got to get a new book though. I mean,
child, I can't say it so much, but I'm gonna say I agree.
Yeah. I mean, and I love the Legion. I always will. But I mean,
let me just say this. No, I'm not. Never mind.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's cool. I get it. You gotta hold your tongue. I get it. I just know for me, it becomes difficult for me to listen to stuff that I played, 20 years ago, still being played. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. But I still think and feel and believe that day Norfolk was the better band. I see Chuck in there talking, man. I'm not even gonna pay attention to. I looked at it and I was like, what?
It's a no for me, Chuck. You tossing drums and shit. No.
Well,
no. Let me tell you something. They entertaining, but I draw the line at tossing drums. It's that I was just like, did he?
Well,
I can just see Dr. Sanford head blown off.
But that's the thing, right? Like that's a doc thing. That's not a everybody else thing.
Well, I think it's a Legion thing. We just not throwing instruments and drums, and we don't put instruments on the ground. I just think it's a different culture here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We, as far as the Legion is concerned, we just do things a lot differently than everybody else does. I think that sometimes we get so far in the fact that we do things differently that when we see other people doing the things that we don't do, it's kind of like, it's kind of like a standoffish kind of thing.
Did you say we toss flags? Yeah, they meant to go in the air. Drums not meant to go in the air.
All right. Well, then after that, y'all had the Battle of the Bands. What was it in the Scope?
It was in Charlotte. We went to Charlotte, right? We left A&T, grabbed food, and drove to Charlotte.
Oh, yeah. Enjoy. I know y'all enjoyed that. But what I will say is this, and I don't care. I've seen a lot of them, from Texas Southern playing Torture, J State, Get Ready. And y'all know I am a J5 fan to the day I die. But it is nothing like Behold when it's done right and it's in the right tempo, in the right area, in the right space. There's nothing better than watching the pass and review and watching Behold and just seeing. I'm gonna tell you, as a Legion member, that was one of the things that caught my eye when I got the video in 2000, my first video that I ever watched in 2000. And then when I saw the 2001 season DVD, I'm just telling you, like, that was the thing that got me. I was like, yo, this song is super. These helmets is ugly, but this song is super dope. And it fits with the program. And I know that I watched that battle and watching Behold again and seeing it done in that way, I swear I felt like I was 18 years old again in that band and doing it all over again. It gave me chills, man. 100%.
And a lot of people don't get to see that live. And when they told us, you have to come in the music, we was in that office and we all said, like, simultaneously, Behold.
It has
and to be. So in the way, we didn't get to practice that, but we told them it's a small opening, but then once you get out, you got to expand, and it just went how it was supposed to go. We had a great, I'm tired, but we had a awesome time last weekend. Painting both of those places, Dick Price Stadium. We had a good time.
Yeah, and also shout out to the Different Field show. 100% respect. I will always respect that. Don't you have a game and then have another performance and you do
the same show. Yep. And some of those fans did, but that's okay. But and then that was only it was an arena football field.
Yeah.
So they had to practice for the A&T show, and then we put cones out and transition to we called it the baby field. And I think they did a hell of a job.
Yeah. I would definitely say that Norfolk's performance at the Battle of the Bands was definitely one that I was very proud of. But let me go ahead and say this now.
Can we shout out these other bands, because there was some stuff going on up there?
I am. But okay. I wanted to stop and say this very quickly, and then we can get off Norfolk for a while. One, I'm gonna have to slightly get an edge to A&T when it comes to the percussion battle. When it came between Norfolk and A&T, I felt like, Norfolk. MD did MD. I expect for them to do that, and from a technicality perspective, from a cleanliness perspective, hey, top notch. But when it comes to just the showmanship and just the entertainment value of it, I've got to give A&T 100% their props. You know, and I'm not gonna sit up here and say it was like by a large margin, but it was that little bit of that entertainment factor for me, that kind of gave them a little bit of the edge. And then there was some stuff that was going on and happened with Hot Ice and Golden Delight. But I'm gonna save that for later because I want to come back around to that topic and that conversation. So yeah, that's all I have as far as, you know, the Norfolk side of everything. Kentucky State was there, right?
Turned up. Hey, shout out to them. Okay. That's the kind of edge. That's the kind that we got a chip on our shoulder and we go finna show y'all. That's what I like. I enjoyed them. I really, really did. It was good I had been watching them online. And so it was good to see them in person. And yeah, I was really excited about them. Really powerful sound, angry. I like it.
Yeah,
they ain't bring their flags. I don't know why, but
I could have swore I saw their flags.
No, you didn't.
Okay, I thought I did, but okay. I guess you between Justin's conversation and your conversation, I guess they was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want no parts of it.
I want to see them in person. The Silks and the Silks was gonna be in the building together. I wanted to see it.
Well, they surely were not in the building together, I guess.
They were not.
But I mean, one thing I can say is when it comes to Kentucky, man, they do a very good job of really kind of showing up and showing out and just kind of holding true to who they are. They have a small group, but they small group is not, they ain't no pushovers. I can tell you that. So definitely 100% shout out to them, man. Yeah, so I definitely give them their props. Who else was there?
Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M.
What's the name of their dances? Anybody know?
I like their dances.
They came out there and I don't know their names, so I don't want to. Who can tell me their name?
Justin
they danced. I'm talking about a hole in the ground. They danced. I was like, okay. They had came the whole Dancing Divas. They did that. Shout out to them. And their flags did some stuff that made me go, okay, that too. I like it.
So now, I wasn't
paying attention to the whole field show, but their flags and their dances gave me a little something. But the Dancing Divas, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So I will say this. I'm gonna say two things. The first thing is, you know, me being at PV for those 5 years, I never, like, we faced Alabama. We had Alabama A&M. We had a battle with them, so on and so forth. They've never just kind of like stood out to me. They all right. They okay. You know, a lot of people have some things to say about A&M, and that's cool. You know, for me, they all right. They cool. But I will say last weekend, them dancers, I watched them. That was the first time I had ever paid attention to their dancers. I text Rick. I was like, yo, Rick, have you seen A&M's dancers? He was like, no, man. I was like, yo, you got to go watch them, my guy. Go watch them. So I will say shout out to their dancers. I'm not going to necessarily say that I'm a huge fan of the performance that they put on, but and I'm not saying that their performance was terrible, but the dancers caught my eye.
From the outfit to the energy to they gave it up.
Yeah. And then who was Livingston, or was it Benedict? Or Benedict. Now I'm gonna be honest, I ain't pay attention to them. I'm sorry.
No, they didn't try to do too much. I think all of the bands there were bigger than them. They did them. I thought it was a respectable presentation, and they ain't try to overcompensate. They went out there and did them.
I didn't. And this is no slight to Benedict or anything like that. I just, you know, I watched it to watch the Legion and A&T, and A&M was kind of in there, and I know what Kentucky's gonna do, so I paid attention to Kentucky, so it wasn't like I just didn't Benedict is trash or anything like that. It's just they weren't on my radar, so that's just kind of where my brain was during that time. Before we get off of the battle, I do want to jump right back to the hot ice and Golden Delight situaciones. It was brought to my attention by Justin. Justin hit me up and he told me about it, and so I had to go watch his video. And we got to talk about this real quick. It seems to be a thing where people are upset because hot ice put up the Golden Delight hand sign, and then the Golden Delight girls were upset about it, and you shouldn't be throwing up nobody else's hand sign. And I'm just gonna say this, and I don't know, and maybe Portia, you were privy to that, you probably know all the stuff that's going on, but I will say this. I have never, and I will never, and please understand what I'm saying, I have never and will never hold a section to the way that I hold like a Greek lettered organization. I just won't do that. And I think that at some point we got to remember, and I can't stand using this term, but for this particular situation, I have to say it. It's just banned, bro. Like, and that's just kind of how I feel. If somebody throws up a Dizzy sign, I'm gonna ask if you a Dizzy. But I mean, outside of that, and I'm pretty well versed, except for these new cats. I don't know these new cats, but if you was during my time or back, I probably kind of know who you are. But if you throw up a Dizzy sign, it's not gonna like make me like jump. It's not that big of a deal. Now, if you wearing an Alpha shirt, say that's a whole completely different conversation that we need to have. But I'm still not gonna be like, this is just, oh man, I need to swing on. Like, I think that we got to remember, and then the other half of that too, it's all in competition. The
art of war.
Yeah,
the art of war. Are you done? Because I'm ready. I've been waiting.
I'm done. I'm done.
Praise the Lord.
Ahead, you got it.
So first and foremost, if the students felt some type of way, let the students say something. I do not believe that people who are on band staff, who are coordinating, should be putting anything on statuses and adding people. We grown. She older than me. So, no.
I didn't even know that happened.
All y'all did, all of this whole thing got hot ice more views than they would have got if y'all had just let it go. Somebody could throw up the silk ass sign. You can't twirl like us, so it don't matter. I agree. It's not that deep. It's really not. And the thing is that, okay, you throw it up. Greeks do this hops all the time. And we keep it moving. It's not that serious. And if it was that serious, you let your squad take to the internet and let them say what they got to say. I was shocked and appalled. And I just feel like we need to do better. I don't think it was that deep. But when you put it on the internet and people start to go look and see, that gave Justin more views. It gave the Legion more views. It gave Hot Ice more views. So all you did was push the numbers up for us. I agree. So I just feel like we, as band staff, have to be better than that. I would have told my girls, imitation is the best form of flattery, and would have kept it moving. I think people put too much on the internet anyway. But to me, we have to be the example. Not to mention, y'all was all hugged up, taking pictures at the game. So you had her number. Why not reach out and say, hey, I felt some type of way about this, that, or the third. But if I'm being honest, a hurt dog gonna holler. And we went down there last weekend and did what we needed to do. Got a standing ovation in their stadium. So it was an issue. Let's call a spade, because them throwing it up and then throwing it away was not that deep.
I thought it was actually pretty cool. They threw it up and then kind of slapped it.
Hit it like a baseball.
Like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But let's and if we gonna be keep it all the way unscripted and unfiltered, when we was in the band, Cole Steele killed MD, had a funeral that Golden Delight participated in, and then the next year they showed up in jumpsuits because they went to jail for killing MD.
Fact.
But we worried about a hand sign.
Oh no! What about when what was it? The trombone section played "Behold." Chuck know what I'm talking about. I think it was a trombone section for a fanfare. And what about that year when Virginia State during the Battle of the Bands when they had the Legion shirt on and my man ripped the Legion shirt off? Yeah,
like this stuff happens. So I'm just confused about why this one thing was the end of the world. We didn't take to the internet when y'all killed MD and came out with a casket. Y'all traveled with a whole casket.
So true.
So to me, keep that same energy. It was too much for me. Too much.
So I didn't even know that a staff member even said anything. I was just looking at the.
Oh no, it's all over the internet with like 300 comments.
I just didn't know one of them was a staff member. I just thought it was just the kids in the program. I mean, good Lord. But no, I don't disagree. I think that it's just not. It really is not that serious. It's not to that point. Chuck, who was it? It was somebody. I remember that. That's all I remember is Behold, and we were sitting on the other side, like, okay, all right, for real though. And after that, it was what it was. I mean, but I think that once again, I think that we take things a little too far. I think we as far as little things like that, understanding that we are in that process of competition. And literally, when you brought up the casket joint, I had completely forgot about that. Like that whole process had just completely slipped my mind. I forgot about that, and I remember that now that you brought it up. They did travel with that. They did travel with that casket. Oh Lord, oh my gosh. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we tripping. Calm down, man. Calm down. People, stay off the post. If it is what it is. It's banned. It's competition. I mean, to me, that would be almost as crazy as well. The comments did go crazy, but I think it was more of a different situation when TSU played on Southern during that halftime. But still, just stop. I don't stop it. All right. I don't think it's that serious at all. What else happened last weekend? I know it was some other good things that happened last weekend, some other band stuff. Portia, I know you weren't part of it because you was worried about y'all and what y'all had going on.
Yeah.
And what up, Quan? My bad, brother.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, I know I missed something else that happened that past week. Some other people were playing that past weekend. And I know I caught up with it, but I'll remember as time goes on. Anyway, Quan, any thoughts that you had about last week's battle, or any of the stuff that you saw last week? Oh yeah, FAMU and what was it, Alabama State?
I was so sad they didn't come to the battle.
Yeah, they were supposed to.
They were supposed to be there. I wanted to see them in person.
Yeah. I don't know. Does anybody know why they didn't show up?
They had, like all of us. All of the bands that I'm aware of. It's the time of year. Well, we had at the last game 20 people out, sick, flu. So it was said that they had quite a few people sick.
Okay, and let me say something really quick about FAM while we're on this, because I know I watched their performance. And I have to say this again. I have to go ahead and apologize. I put my foot in my mouth a while ago And I just want to say this because I think it was either this past weekend or the weekend prior. Fam got 280 kids. So I know that when they resurfaced, I said, man, I don't ever think Fam's gonna get back to the size that they used to be. They in the right track to do it.
They huge.
They on the right track to do it, and honestly, they don't sound bad.
No. Mm-mm.
You know,
I
so
think they'll be fine.
yeah, I have to stand corrected and say that I was wrong on that. There are a lot of people that will say stuff, analysts and all this sports analysts who will make these predictions and won't admit that they was wrong. I'm gonna admit I was wrong. I was wrong in saying that. Kudos to Fam, good job, keep it up. And I watched Fam's homecoming too. I don't know if that was last week or the week before last or whatever,
I think it
but
was the week
Week
before.
before.
but
Mm-hmm.
I have, so there are some personal things I have with certain groups. Obviously, J State is going to be J5, but it's something about the history of Fam and the 100 that just gets me every time. And I love to watch the homecoming performances when they got some of the alumni back and they're all rattling on the field, or just I like to watch the tradition in that and see just the continuity that has passed on through the years. So I love to watch it. I think it's super dope. So once again, I stand corrected. Shout out to Fam. My bad. Hey, I don't have no problem admitting it, man. All right. Let's see. What else did we miss? Anything this past weekend? I want to make sure I try to cover all bases because we missed a whole week before we get into this week's topic and this week's show. So
Hey, I don't know if we had a chance to, but I do want to give a shout out to Big Walton and Darius for their the National Battle of the Band, the high school one that was in Beaumont. Great experience. Shout out to all of the bands there. We did place third for the mediums category. It was my kid's first time being in a battle of the band in years. Huntington was there. Northeast High, and from Austin, Rory School. Cedar Hill tore it down. I mean, it was really good, man. Shout out to all the high school band directors. I don't know if either you're in the playoffs at this point or your season is over. Unfortunately, our season is over, but I'm so looking forward to this Thanksgiving break for this fire nap. I'm just, my tiredness is tired. Like, that's just where I'm at. But great season.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying I'm just ready for concert season at this point.
Tennessee State.
Yeah, when they people ran out with them, I think that's dope, bro.
They also for the album they did.
Oh, they got a Grammy.
Grammy nomination.
Yeah, that's dope.
So that's super dope. I wanted to shout them out. That's super dope.
I mean, let's keep it a buck. First, talking about Tennessee State. Tennessee State has actually been very consistent.
Yep.
For a long time. I don't think that we, not specifically us, but I'm just saying us as the culture, give Tennessee State enough of their props. But I also think that they're just not they're not in the light as much either.
What conference they're in, bro?
I don't know. Is it the SEAC? They may, or something else. I don't know. I know they don't see a lot of the chocolate bands. I know that.
Nope.
Right. I of course we know that their biggest game is the Heritage Classic against Jackson, but I'm being honest, not saying that they don't have a marketing team, but they need a better marketing team.
Well, October 14th next year, they play Norfolk State in Tennessee.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be at that game.
And I heard about that.
Just pray to the marching band guards, okay? Pray to the marching band guards.
And I heard about that, and let me tell you how frustrated I was about it, just because this is another situation when it comes to Norfolk that when I was marching, Those are the battles and those are the games that we wish for. When Norfolk got to be in the room with Southern, do you know how many times we asked for that when we were marching? And now they about to play Tennessee, and I'm like, bruh, if we would have won against Tennessee, oh my gosh. But still, shout out to them in Norfolk because they're definitely going to be able to get in that room and have a time. If you need me to lace it up, I'll lace it up one more time just for that. I ain't marching on the field, but I got you in the stands.
I ain't doing none of that. Stands or nothing else.
Look, all I gotta do is stand still. That's all I gotta do. I stand still and play. I'm good.
You about to pull a Chuck?
Hey, absolutely. I ain't got no problem. Hey, I will.
You're not gonna be in the middle. I bet you're not gonna be in the middle.
I'll do it. I'm good. I ain't gonna be like I said. I ain't gonna be in the field though. I'm gonna be in the middle of the stands. I'm gonna be right there in the middle.
Nah, you're not a current Deezy. You gotta get on the ends, hold it down. A dirty third.
No.
They not finna put him on the end.
No, sir. Absolutely not. But no, I do agree with you too, Kwan. Shout out to all of the high school directors, man. You know, I remember being a high school director, and I remember the torture of sitting at that final game, and you are on the cusp of either going to the playoffs or your year is over. And I remember the hurt that I felt every time we went to the playoffs, and them kids was there cheering. They was like, "Yeah, Mr. Luke, we going to the playoffs." And I'm texting my wife like, "We going to the goddamn playoffs." So for those people, those band directors who are still out there hitting them playoff daddies, man, I understand. I am there for you. I get the stuff that you're going through, especially if you like a competition group, UIL group, because typically around this time, because UIL is over, they just park and play. They don't even worry about nothing. They just get out there, they play a couple of tunes, play for their drill team, and come on out. But no, I definitely give you all shout outs and kudos. And for those of y'all who don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. I am no longer teaching. I left the profession. But so that's why I can speak on, you know, what used to happen. Smiths, where did Quan go? Oh, that was my fault. But no, that's you left out and then you came back in. But no, that's why I can speak on that and I understand those processes. And then last thing, before we move on, I just found out one of my students is marching in the storm and I didn't even know. So definitely shout out to her. Shout out to Brittany. What I when she came in, I got her as a sophomore and I threw her on clarinet. She came in with a group of her friends, and you know, I had her for a year, and then COVID hit, and then, you know, when COVID hit, you know, parents was making their kids work, especially in the Hispanic community specifically. And so then it became she had to work and take care of her siblings. And you know, I tried to get her back in the program, and then I was like, well, look, I'll let you take this instrument home so you can practice and stay with it. And then when the spring semester hit, you can come on back. And then I was like, hey, you coming back? And she was like, I don't know, mister. I don't know if I can come back. And so you know, I really worked hard to try to keep her active. And Lord and behold, I found her on the Facebook, and I saw her in a storm uniform, and I was like, well, look at that. So I was very proud. My heart was warm for that brief second. So shout out to her. So let's get ready to jump right into these topics, man. Oh, no. Before we do that, I have to say this. And Quan knows about this, and I'm gonna try to keep it brief, but I'm probably not gonna be too brief about it. This past weekend was a really, really tough weekend for me. As a former staff member of the Marching Storm, we lost a student this past weekend. And it really hurts because she was such a great person. She was part of our EQ staff. Whenever you would see her, she was always, you know, helping out. She was doing whatever she can. She was, a person to have great conversations with, just a fun, awesome person. And so, I do want to send a shout out to Danny. But then like the next day, I lost another colleague of mine who I worked with in HISD. He was a Alpha brother, so he's moved on to Omega chapter. But I met him, and when I met him, he actually welcomed me into the school, and we did morning duty together, and then we did lunch duty together, and then he happened to have a last name that was very similar to my family's last name. So for at least about 2 months, we were trying to figure out if we were family, and we were going down the family tree. But shout out to him, shout out to Mr. Lindsay. But I do want to say this, man. Before we get into the topics, man, one of the things that really sat on my heart this past week, and I just want to have this conversation very quickly, and then we can get to it. And I'm gonna try to keep it brief, but we've got to continue to reach out to each other and talk to each other, and we've got to also continue to give these young people the truth and reality of life. We've had the mental health show, and I've made it a promise that I'm going to try to do mental health shows as much as possible, at least once every 2 or 3 months. But young people, we've and people listening and people watching, please, these things like this need to be shared out. The world has told you that you are supposed to have certain things at certain times. Social media has told you your life is supposed to be a specific way. And what I have to say is, listen, life moves and ebbs and flows. Dr. Zachary, back when we were at Norfolk State, when he was just Mr. Zachary, he told me one thing that has stuck with me, and because I had never heard this analogy before. But life moves in peaks and valleys. You are going to get to your peak, but there's going to be valleys that you go through, and you have to go through them. And sometimes they're difficult to traverse, but it's nothing wrong with reaching out for help. And you should not be embarrassed for the fact that you need help, because no man, no person in this world has made it to whatever level of success they've had without help. You cannot do it alone. You should not think in your lifetime that you do this alone. All these people who say, I got it out of the mud, I did it, I pulled it up by my own bootstraps, or whatever bull crap that people want to tell you, it's a freaking lie. People have had help. So allow people to help you, and do not walk around holding in some of the things that you hold in, because that leads to depression, that leads to anxiety, and that leads to a whole lot of unnecessary and other things that it becomes very difficult for us to deal with on our own. And I know for me, I am a person who truly believes in the word. I am a person who truly believes in God, and through all of that, lean on him. Lean on him. I find it very interesting and almost frustrating, the level of suicides that we have in this country by people who are massively younger than me. Things that we were not seeing when I was younger. And I think a lot of it has to do with the bullcrap facades that are put out in social media. Just because somebody is having a hot girl summer does not mean that they didn't struggle to get to that hot girl summer. Hell, some of them using their rent money to do it just so they can look good on whatever social media platform. But we've got to do better. We've got to talk to each other. We've got to reach out to each other. Please stop leaving our friends, those people you so-called friends, alone in the dark. And if you're someone who is going through something, reach out to somebody, specifically a counselor. There's nothing wrong with that. We as Black people have to do better with that stuff. That doesn't make us crazy. That is a farce that we have been told for many, many years and generations, that we are crazy if we go seek help. No, help is help. That's what the fuck it's for. So I didn't want to be long-winded on that, but I just felt the need to say that because it's been heavy on my heart this past week. So I don't know if you guys have anything, but if not, then we can move on. Hey, buddy.
Howdy.
You got the little blonde braids in. Look at you.
You see me. You see me. You see me. Hey, y'all.
What's up, girl?
Hey.
Oh, child. All right, what we doing?
See? Only Maya. Only Maya.
What I do?
Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
What I miss?
You just go look at the playback. There you go. You got 17 computers. You can do playback on one computer and then still be live. All right, man. Let's move on, man. Let's go ahead and get to these topics, man. Let's start from the top. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. And y'all go ahead and smash that like, daddy, man. As soon as y'all come into the room, let's get these likes up early so we ain't got to worry about it later. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioneers Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and say that too. I didn't put the week before last episode up because of the fact that I was down all last week. So I need to put that episode up and this episode up on Manana. All right. So we talked about it earlier. The season has basically come to an end. I think we have the Bayou coming up. And I mean, when it comes to like the big games, I guess. And then we have what's next?
SWAC championship. That's it.
And that's pretty
Celebration Bowl.
Celebration Bowl.
Okay. So that's pretty basically all we have coming up this year or throughout the rest of the year. And so I felt we need to go ahead and talk about it. Let's figure out, or let's have some questions, or let's talk about this year in general, this marching season. So I'm going to really just kind of start from the top. I think, and I'm going to say this, and I think I've said this to Quan, and I think I've said it to Rick. For me, this year has been really kind of lackluster. I don't think it's been a great year. I think I only believe that there were only a few bands that I think that kind of like shined for the most part, but I think everybody else coasted. But I think that those shining moments really came from like kind of disrespectful things. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, like this band was like so amazing. I think that a lot of the things that happened were just kind of like the disrespectful stuff, kind of like the TSU Southern thing, or the Southern and Jackson thing, where it was just all outright, rap daddies and everybody talking over everything and kicking over stands and all that, so I think that's where, I think that where the energy came from. So the first question that we have is, are HBCU marching bands only exciting because of the disrespect factor? Are HBCU marching bands only exciting because of the disrespect factor? I'm not even looking. Quan, you got it first, brother. Let's start us off.
Nah, I wouldn't say that, bro. But I think this year, returning from the first full year after COVID, we were excited to see. We kind of had that moment like from The Incredibles when the daddy was like, "What are you looking at?" He was like, and the little boy was like, "I don't know, something amazing, I guess." like we was like that, you know what I'm saying? But I think, but it went back to almost like step 2 drills, linear, from A&T, which we spoke about that in the beginning of the year, and we expected the year to progress. Now, don't get it twisted. I think bands did get better, but we were like, this was something that was missing for 2 years, y'all. Like they about to set something on fire. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't get that. I must say this specifically for the swag. I did, I got to give them their props. Me and you talked about it, Luke, how TSU like jumped up so many spots. I mean, outside of that, it was, just a typical year. I think other bands, they did what they're supposed to do. And I wouldn't say the word coast, but I mean, they were them. And that was really it. I think for the SWAC specifically, as a SWAC representative, TSU honestly was the biggest surprise out of them all. This quick. Outside of that, it was just really simple. But I am looking forward to the Fan Bethune battle. I am looking forward to the Bayou Classic. More specifically, the drum battle versus Grambling and Southern as a percussionist. Outside of that, it was meh.
You brought up Bethune. Did anybody see Bethune this year? Like, where were they?
We saw Bethune this year.
Did y'all see him? Like,
no, I'm saying we all did in Houston.
But outside
we
of
were sitting there together.
No, you can see I wasn't paying attention. But I'm just saying though, like outside of
that,
I didn't pay attention to them. I told y'all that. I said I was sitting there and I wasn't looking at them. I was on the side. I didn't pay attention to Bethune show. But that's still that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I've seen Miles at least a few times. I've seen Jackson a few times. I've seen Southern a few times. I've seen Alabama a few times. Where the hell was Bethune?
They really didn't play nobody. I mean, they played.
They in the SWAC.
They in the SWAC. Who they didn't play?
What I'm saying is they didn't travel to see nobody. I think Jackson traveled to see them, didn't they?
I think so.
Outside of that, that's it, bro.
But that's my point. It's hard to be able to say, hey, Bethune was, whatever this year. I ain't seen him. I mean, we can't count the National Battle of the Bands. That was before the season even started. So we got to see your beginning and never got to see your end, like, or middle or progress. Like, I don't know where Bethune was. They were the ghost band this year. Like, yeah, all right, whatever. Maya, are HBCU bands only exciting because of the disrespect factor?
I wouldn't say only. I don't think that it's only exciting, but I do think that in terms of the masses, whether it's non-band heads or band head adjacent, possibly new school band heads, I think that is something that often excites people, is the ignorant stuff, the disrespectful stuff. I think that, of course, like we've talked about many a times, that's what gets the views and that's what gets the people going. But for what it truly is, the art form in which it really is, I don't think that that's the only thing. I don't think disrespect is the only thing that makes bands exciting. Now, kind of going back to the alternate conversation that we just started, in terms of this year kind of being lackluster, I wanted to say that possibly this was the year of the underdog, not necessarily the underdog, but not necessarily like those top 3 schools. There were some other schools that truly got their shine on this season as opposed to, but that's even hard to say as well, because I'm speaking parting bands and auxiliary, right? If we want to split those two up, those are two totally different things. Like TSU, now, like the band, yeah, they did do their things, but the motion, truly, like this was their goddamn year. Like I said it before, I ain't know that I would ever say it in my life. Lord Jesus, help me. But the motion was truly a unit. But when I think about the sets this year, they did what they needed to do, I guess. But it wasn't given like, oh hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the Dolls, they did what they needed to do, but that's an ongoing thing. Well, not even that. The Dolls really did what they had to do this year. So, but Southern's band, I wouldn't say like, woo, they did. Woo, they really took it home. They really drove it home. They really did something different. I just think that they did regular. They just did what they do. So this is a hard one. But if we want to kind of split that conversation up, we can dig into that. But yeah.
We can look at that because I can definitely agree with you on some of those things. And I don't want to take too much time because I do want to give Portia her minutes.
Oh, for sure.
And her seconds. But I will say that I can honestly agree with what you're saying because I typically would look at the Stingettes this year. Or in general, I would look at the Stingettes. I don't know. For me, they weren't. I mean, they were cool. They just
having a transitional year too. Right. But no, like coming off of the past 2, 3, however years, it definitely wasn't the same. They had some moments, but it wasn't outstanding.
Right.
It wasn't how I felt about them last season and the year before.
Right. And that's kind of so I can definitely agree and see what you're saying because you missed it. Like I said to Portia, that Alabama A&M, I was like, yo, I ain't
Maya, when you get a chance, go watch them from the HBCU Culture Battle of the Bands. What did you say? Dancing Divas from Alabama.
No, let's be clear. That's why I said the underdog. I mean, okay, the underdog on my personal.
Wait, are they the squad that we loved in Houston?
Please.
Is that the same squad we loved in Houston?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, baby,
with the silver, they had on silver, but
you know what?
Yes.
This is a pattern then, because they've
been killing it this season, and I don't typically have them on my list, but they, please talk. Let's talk about it. They've been doing what needs to be done for shit show.
All right, Portia, HBCU marching bands are only exciting because of the disrespect factor.
No, I think people like that kind of stuff, but that ain't the world I live up here. Well, evidently it's a whole thing that happened last weekend, but we don't even roll like that. So I don't get excited for stuff like that. Do what you came to do. That's it. I don't know that it's only exciting. I've seen some exciting things this season. I don't know that anybody blew my socks off, but I've seen some exciting things this season, and it had nothing to do with disrespect. Like the Divas went out there and danced their ass off. No disrespect. They just dance. That's their job. Do your job. But no, I think people like that kind of stuff, but I don't think we should be selling that kind of stuff. Because then it's levels to it. And then you're going to have to top that. And then where do we end up? Because at the end of the day, these are places of higher education. We're not street gangs. So everybody here trying to get a degree. So when you start trying to outdo the disrespect from last time, where do you draw the line? So no, I don't think you don't have to do that to be exciting. Be good at whatever it is.
So we kind of addressed this earlier, and I'm going to kind of harp on it, but then I'm going to ask you guys a question. I get what you're saying as a Norfolk person, because and once again, in Norfolk, we're just, and I have to say it this way, but we're just trained differently. So the things that we do, we look for a different level of entertainment and or excitement. So when people find or look at other things that excite them, we just kind of sit back and be like, that's some hood mess there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just kind of how we are. But I got a question for all of you guys. Name me an exciting moment that happened this year that was not a disrespectful thing.
I'll go. I mean, I gotta give them their props when TSU played the Snarky Puppy. I think that because for us, like we speak about a diverse book. Like we're the ones that, first people to say, man, we tired of rap daddies. Well, they did actually had a different type of book this year. They actually had a book that that was more eclectic than others. So I mean, and then they had certain one or two non-returnables. So I mean, for me, like I say, I mean, you got to give props where props do. And Luke, you and I spoke. If you hating on that program and the direction that they're going, you just really being a hater. But that's one aspect of it. I looked at what is it? Dance line. What's the Alabama State? What their girls' names?
Stingettes.
Yeah.
Like they weren't bad this year either. Like I caught a few Alabama clips. I mean, I don't know, man. This year was
See, and that's what I said exciting, not they weren't bad either. Exciting. So, but let me you hit it. Let me go ahead and say this. TSU, Lingus, the fact that they just played it, they made the attempt, they went out there, they played it, and they got from beginning to the end. They played something that was completely left field, out of the book, not expected. Shout out to them. To me, it goes back to the same thing I said about Alcorn. Say whatever you want to say about how they sound or whatever. When they played the Power Rangers joint, for me, not even just because it was Power Rangers, it was just different. It was something that was left field, that was not expected. That's how I think when I think about playing music and playing, different songs and bands. It's not, for me, it's not always about the rap daddy or the typical song that's in your top 10, top 20. I'm looking for the stuff that people aren't thinking about playing. So shout out to
Mozart. They played a Mozart piece too.
Yeah, absolutely. So both of those joints were dope. All right, Maya, give me something exciting this year that wasn't disrespectful.
All my stuff is gonna be dance related, honestly.
That's fine.
I mean, pretty much every single Dollfield show this year has been crazy. Not to mention seeing them do I forget what the line dance is. They coined it the Southern something or another, but I think it's truly just a regular line dance. So seeing them do something different on the sideline as opposed to just standing there when they're done, that was different and unexpected. But this, what was the last clip? I just watched it. I believe it was yesterday. Them again, Southern against Alcorn, where they wore the traditional uniform. Please. From the intro, they hadn't even got on the field yet. And I was like, yup, get you some. The Foxes, they changed up one of their stand route, not necessarily routines, but the way in which the count is thrown and reacted to. They switched that up this year, which was very, very unexpected. That wasn't disrespectful in the least. It was just creative. The Dancing Divas, I forget who they played, but this most recent uniform is jewels everywhere. This sideline band dance that they did at the end of their performance, crazy. TSU, the Motion, when they played Jackson State, they had a couple of different moments within the stands and on the field. I'm honestly, pretty much all of their field routines, if not all of them, have been crazy and definitely memorable. But Baby Girl did a damn fan kick. Do you know how hard it is to do a true corner to corner fan kick in the stands where not just benches and it's fold down seats? Please. Memorable all day, because that technique, execution, clean, and I'm not folding over, bopping my head on the seats, please. Yeah. Those are my moments for me.
Okay. Dang good one too. All right, Portia, what you got?
What's the question? Name some things that were exciting that were not disrespectful. The Legion coming in there in front of all them people and doing Behold just as clean. Just come in. We here. That wasn't disrespectful, but it was exciting. Hell for me, and I see them do it every week.
I think that's a little biased though. I'm just saying.
You know how many people hit me up like,
I look, no, I get it.
I
I
stood
get
up
it.
for the Legion today, and I feel bad to say that. I'll never say it out loud. People text me that and said stuff like that to me, and I was like, well, dang. Not disrespectful. We got a standing ovation in Truist Stadium, and we ain't disrespect nobody. That was exciting.
See, you're doing all the Norfolk stuff.
Oh no. Exciting. Exciting. Mine took a lot of mine. I think the auxiliaries have been doing some different stuff this year, and that was exciting to me. If I'm looking at more involvement, more growth, more incorporation of color guard into these bands, that's exciting to me. And that was no disrespect. I don't know if somebody been listening, heard a couple of things, but I've been seeing more. And I'm like, okay, the band's been lackluster, but these auxiliaries is stepping this thing up a little bit. I'm excited about that. I'm happy to see that. I'm seeing more flag features. I'm seeing more involvement in doing things and less dancing in the back. The flags from Alabama A&M twirled the whole show. We was talking, I was mad at them in Houston, but they twirled and contributed the entire show. That's what I have seen some great things come out of these auxiliaries this season. They have progressed. Things have gotten better. So I appreciate that. And that was not disrespectful. They went out there and did their own thing. You know, they don't look like the Silks, but I can appreciate your craft. I can appreciate the effort that went into it, and they contributed to the show. I'm excited about that. I hope that continues to progress. And that wasn't disrespectful to anybody. I think almost all of the bands that were, except for Kentucky State and Bring Theirs, all of the bands that were in Charlotte had flags that did stuff during the show. I was excited about that. I'm very excited about that. And I hope we continue to see that. So, yeah.
So it seems to me that this year was the year of the auxiliary.
It was.
Well, in my opinion, but I mean, everybody else may see it different.
No, because I was going to piggyback off of what you said. Like, absolutely. Like, I think in terms of what we've been talking about year over year, creativity, innovation, but still individuality. This was the year of individuality for a lot of the different auxiliaries, teams, dance teams, color guards, for people saying this is who we are and literally standing 10 toes down and presenting themselves for who it is that they have established themselves to be or are moving towards, whether it's a transitional year or not. I think that this was definitely one of those years that says, okay, maybe we're not all doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we really understand the tradition, or we really understand the aesthetic of what it is that we're trying to portray within our individual groups.
Yeah, so I think that's a very, very fair way to say it. Because I don't disagree with you guys. I from an auxiliary standpoint, I've found myself looking more at the auxiliary in a lot of situations when I'm trying to, watch the band and blah, 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 than any other year that I've ever done it. Like, and you guys have named some things that, well, I don't know about no fan kicks. I don't know about that, but you named some things that caught my eye, this year for me, the little short haired girl in the dolls for me. I mean, and I always have to say this, Rick texts me like, bro, you seen this little short haired girl on the Dancing Dolls? I was like, yeah, I seen it.
She giving everything that you need every time.
It's those things like that I have noticed more than just the bands in general. So
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
No, I was saying. So her name is Ariel. This is her second year as captain. But when I say the vibe and kind of going to conversations that we've had, when you really identify or you understand your personality or who you are in your position, the way that it's portrayed, the way that the confidence or what you're able to give off, that's what I'm saying, like your crab year versus, you know what I'm saying, like you just crossed or whatever. So I say 2.5, third year is when you really start to know who you are in your section. and in your craft, but this is her second year. And when I say like she has blown me away, because I mean, I'm gonna be honest, last year I was not fully sold. I wasn't fully sold on her being captain, but this year I don't know what it is. I don't know if she said, babe, I'm about to cut this hair off and just do what makes me feel good. They say when a lady cut her hair off, you know something is about to change. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe it gave her some extra fight or something, but she's really, truly been killing it in the sense of it's the confidence. It's the fact like I know who I am and I know what legacy I want to leave. And she's done a phenomenal job from top to bottom of pushing that through.
It started last spring. If you look at some of they
fair.
She cut that hair last spring.
That's fair.
When she cut that hair last spring, they had a couple of performances last spring, and I was like, wait a minute, we got something here.
Yeah.
And then when she came out this fall, I said, oh my God.
Yeah, with a team behind her. With a team behind her. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
There we go. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band coaching, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like that. Let's get these likes up. Somebody that already put it into the chat. I think it was my wife. I can't see it. But also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on your notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. And this week, you're going to get double the dose because I got to upload both of these shows, this show and last show 2 weeks ago. So congratulations. All right. So it's like I said, it seems to me that the auxiliary is the part of the band that has done the more advancing. Kwan, you said something very interesting. We were kind of, after being kind of on this, I don't necessarily want to say hiatus because we still had band, we still had band. No, wait, before you say that, I was going to say this. We still had band. It was kind of like the NBA bubble, but it was still band. I mean, we still had some band. We got our band fixed, during the COVID situation. So I mean, that's how I see it. We got our fix. We tapped it and we put a little in and we got a little hit and then we were good for a little minute. So that's how I see it. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Now I'm about to say the reason why I have to respectfully disagree is because how many programs wasn't functioning at their full potential, because it's like they'll have practice, and then it's like, oh, somebody got COVID, and then it's gone. And then they'll, 10 days later, or however it was, because you were supposed to quarantine 14 days, whatever, then you're trying to do it again. And then you're about to perform, then, oh, somebody got it again, or somebody got the symptoms of it. I think that's what was killing a lot of bands. But this was the first real year, even for us, to really organize and gather to truly see an event. And man,
that's gonna be your word today. But no, I agree with you, but I also disagree with you. Like, because the National Battle of the Bands, Portia said it on multiple occasions. The National Battle of the Bands the year before was a lot more exciting than the one in this year. So
way more exciting.
That's why I'm like, I agree, but I also disagree. Like, I agree with the fact that yes, we had those moments of practice and people got that Rona, and then all of a sudden they had to go down, and then some bands were missing or blah, 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 blah. But the bands that we did see, we did get our fix from those band programs. So
maybe they have
that's what I'm saying. You say what?
Maybe they have more time to plan. I don't know, but maybe that would, I don't know, bro. I mean, I feel you. I can't negate your point, but it's like, damn, like this year, I don't know, bro. Like I was hyped. And then it was like, oh man, we could have YouTubed this.
But that is going towards my point, right? Like, I think that the expectation of us coming back also left us with the expectation of seeing development and growth and change and something new. And I feel like we didn't get that. I feel like we took this kind of break or hiatus but we kind of came back on the same thing that we left. You know, for the most part, I don't feel like there was this change and or growth. It was
Left or
kind of like, oh,
my,
so
my question for you was left or backward step?
I feel that's a very good question. I felt some programs where we left, some programs backward steps. I'm not gonna say every program was a backward step, but I'm definitely gonna say some programs backward steps, some programs kind of right where they left it and just kind of coasted. So yeah, that to answer that question. But to get to the question or the next topic, so with a hiatus like that, and then kind of defining it, thanks to Quan, coming back and some programs were coming back to where they left, some programs coming back and taking maybe a step or two back, and then some couple of programs moving forward. What's it going to take for our HBCU bands to move to the next level? What's it going to take for our HBCU bands to move to the next level? Portia, I think Quan started the last one. So Portia, yeah.
As somebody on the inside, how can I say this? You have to think outside the box. And this is coming from somebody who, even, with the Silks, I try to, what y'all gonna do different this year? Like, what are y'all gonna, you have to challenge the program. I'm gonna tell you from somebody on the inside though, we're going to have to find a way to navigate changing times. And I'm going to say that because you have to think that people who are in marching band right now were in high school during COVID, some of them. And marching band was completely gone for them, a lot of them for like 2 years. So then when they get to college, and maybe this is just Norfolk, they like, I got to learn all new stuff this week. We not doing the same stuff. Oh my God, I'm stressed out. I can't do it. So it's kind of like you may want to be here, but your kids are here. So what do you do in that situation? It's different. When you had marching band all through high school and then you come to college, you like, okay, this is a consistent extension of that. But then when you go out and don't have school, you don't leave your house, you don't really have to cope with nothing. And then you get to a marching band and they like, we need you to do. It's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So it's finding a happy medium with these students, because they just not us. And I have to tell myself that every day. But being creative at the same time. Even if you have a band program that is known for certain things, you have to find a way to make it new, to add to it, to grow it. Anything that's not growing is dead. So you just have to push yourselves. And I think we've seen that with some of the auxiliaries this year. Like, they've pushed themselves. They've done something that you really didn't expect, or they've leveled up in a way that you're like, oh, okay. And that's what our band program should be doing every year. And I just don't see that happening across the board. But I think part of it is that everybody, if we're dealing with that in Norfolk, everybody's dealing with that. A group of kids that had a complete hiatus for the most part from band for a year or so. And I can't, and if I'm the only one, if we're the only one experiencing that, then forgive me, but it has not been an easy road by any stretch of the imagination. And that's just me being real.
I was with you, but then I thought about something. I think somebody asked, I think Quan asked me this question once before. Because I don't think that Norfolk, first of all, is the only program that's dealing with it at all. But what I do wonder is you could see forward movement in TSU. And you can see if anything, Southern and Jackson still moving in the same train as Southern and Jackson. So the question I guess what is I'm posing, and not necessarily specifically to you, Portia, but just in general, based off of what you said, if those programs are capable of doing that with the same kids that every other school pulls from, for the most part, then how is it, or I can even go with FAM, add FAM to that mix too, then how is it impossible for other programs to be able to be in that same train of success?
You want my personal thought?
Yeah, as I said, I'm addressing it to anybody. So if you want to throw it out there, you can.
They gotta be glazing.
Really?
What you said?
Okay.
Wait, what you said?
They have to be glazing. That's Portia's opinion.
That's your opinion. I'm not gonna take nothing away from that perspective. Maya, I did see your church thing up. What you have?
Well, where I thought you were going is not quite where you landed. Okay. So I thought we were kind of on the same page, but maybe not. So I think about it two different ways. So one of it, and maybe I'm just a little bit on a high horse too much, but I would like to say part of it could possibly do with putting the right conversations in the right ears of folks, or putting the right conversations moving forward. Because I would like to say, whether this season or last, in terms of this show, some of the things that we've said that we've longed for are things that we have seen come to fruition. Maybe not fully, but the progression has been there. So then maybe that's one of it. But again, and let me take my cancer hat off, or let me take my woe is me hat off. So maybe that's something different. But I hate to say it, but I think possibly a change of leadership or who's the head could possibly have something to do with it. And I say that because I'm more so speaking of on the auxiliary side, because that is more so my area of expertise. The standout units of this year have had some type of very defined or very definite change in leadership, captainship, headship, or whatever have you. So maybe with that comes additional innovation and creativity and things of that nature that allow for these things to allow for creativity and willingness to coexist to where you can push those things out. So that's kind of how I see it. Moving to the next level, I think that's subjective to what you're aspiring to. I think anybody is able to get there, but I think it's what persons you have in place and what direction or what you're kind of, I don't want to say putting out there, but what you're starting with to kind of catch fire so it hits with everything else. So I don't know. That's just how I see it. Because again, I'm thinking about Motion. I'm thinking about Dolls. They had a change in leadership. They have the same captains that they had within the past 2 years, but in terms of Sophie, be quiet. in terms of leadership, maybe that has something to do with it. I mean, like, think about it like this. Think about it as a job, right? When you first start a job, you're so eager because you got all these different things that you want to do, whatever the case may be. When you get complacent, you start doing whatever the hell you want to do. What am I missing? Oh.
Focus.
So possibly that has something to do with it. That's just a lighthearted take on the matter.
Hey, Sophie, be quiet.
She is cutting up.
Yeah, your mom was trying to give a speech here.
She said, no, this about, oh, okay. I gotta go on mute because she tripping.
So I'll pick it up from there, and I'm gonna go a different route. We're going to have to, two things that we have to do. We're going to have to get inspiration again. And number two, it's okay to reach out for help. Like, I feel that as HBCUs, we've mastered the 8 to 5. Like we've mastered it.
I agree.
At the end of the day, this is the reality of it. When it comes to Southern, they're the masters of that. Like real talk. I think JSU, they've done some different things, but when it comes to 8 to 5, we've done that. Again, I have to give TSU his props. Their drills look great, but I would like to see more linear drills from HBCUs. I do want to see some things that are visually stimulating in a different way. And for that, it's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'm gonna go chop it up with the visual caption head for the Phantom Regiment or whatever, but then take that idea, then make it my own, so that I can be different. I just feel like so many HBCUs are the same when it comes visually, when it comes to drilling. We just gotta do it and be different. And this is not, and before anybody comes in the comment and be like, you know, black, white thing, let's be clear. We learned it from Bill Moffitt. So what's wrong with going back to that and being like, how can I make this my own? Because I do feel like we make things better, but how can we make these specific things our own? So that is my take. Like we gotta ask for help, and then we need a different sense of inspiration.
Do you think, and just going off of what you said, do you think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we are so caught up on tradition? This ain't what we do, so I don't want to step outside of that box in that comfort zone because I don't want to step out of and away from tradition.
Being honest, nah. What I really think is some of us are just so egotistical. We want to just say we did it. That's just really what it is. Some of us, we just be like, nah, that's my drill that I wrote. That's my arrangement that I wrote. You know what I'm saying? Like I ask for Luke help all the time. But what's wrong with that if that's making me better? You know what I'm saying? I just think some of that is just egos, bro. When it's not a black-white thing, but if you just look at, I'll say it like this. Maya said something in regards to staff, right? A staff can make or break you. A staff can collab and put their minds together and be like, you know what? I'm going to do this portion of it. You do this portion of it. Hey, we're going to do this portion of it, you know, so forth and so on. Let's brainstorm on it. Hey, you do the first portion of the drill. You do the second portion. You do the third part. That's 3 different minds, but working together as a cohesive unit to make that program look great. Sometimes, depending on the staff, you may have one person doing the drill. And if that person's style is just like this, well, sometimes you may be limited when you should be, you know, collabing together. But also, again, start working and looking and getting inspiration from other things. That's just how I look at it, bro.
Quan, you said a good point. You said, well, we were talking about not wanting to steer too far away from tradition, right? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, that's what I asked. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. And again, this is very auxiliary heavy, right? I'm tired. I don't want to hear no more of that at this point because I think it's a cop out, right? I don't think that, oh, we got to stay within tradition. That doesn't mean that you can't hit the brainstorm, hit the whiteboard, and figure it out. The dolls in the motion, what I say, has stepped or swayed or moved aside from tradition? Absolutely not. They look like the dolls and they look like the motion, but it's new, it's improved. Damn. She said, hell yeah. it's they're capitalizing with something. They're making the 2022 version of it. So I just think it's real, like, people are lazy. Nobody wants to do the work, sit down, write the drills, or really be cohesive in nature, or really utilize their brain, utilize their gifts and their crafts to step outside of themselves and figure out, what do we look like and what does this look like moving forward, as opposed to what's just gonna get us by. What's gonna keep the paycheck probably gonna keep coming, hopefully so, but I mean, I don't know, and maybe I feel a little bit, maybe some personal stuff that's coming in, but like stepping outside of that, being there, done that, it's time to shake it off and try something different. It's time to step into a new light, and I think that just really just comes with willingness. Why are we so lazy? Why are we so complacent? We were talking earlier, and Chuck said something about BCU, like, what did he say? What was it? Basically, when we think of a BCU field show, we know exactly what it's gonna be from top to bottom. Yeah, it works, but why? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can go just a tad bit further. We can go a tad bit further.
But you ain't even got to put BCU in that mix. You can put everybody in that mix.
I mean, for sure. But there was a comment that he said that made me think about it. I can't even find it right now. But no, you're absolutely right. Everybody can be put in that. You can put everybody's picture, every band in that same category across the board, and at some time, some shape, form, or fashion. But at this point, it's like, I don't know. People are gonna get tired when those views start dropping off. That's debatable. Just kidding. Because I was gonna say, people are going to watch the Kings, and people are going to watch whomever regardless. So whatever they put on the field. So that's debatable. But when the innovation continues to speak for itself, people will be or hopefully, my hope is that people will be forced to go back to the drawing board and reinvent the wheel. It's okay in this capacity. It's okay to reinvent the wheel, but still have it fall under the umbrella of tradition if that is what is so keeping you from stepping outside the box.
I think that the right people just have to do it. I think that's what it is.
You took it from me.
When you say right people, do you mean like the premier bands? They have to start. It has to start with them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about it. Think about it. Like really, like if we really put it out there, right? Norfolk. Well, yeah, I'll start with
okay.
Norfolk and A&T, for the most part, as it pertains to field presentation, are the most different programs by far in HBCU.
Fair.
I think that we can all agree on that, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody looks at Norfolk as just being Norfolk. Norfolk is going to Norfolk. That's just what we do, blah, blah, blah. When you finally see them, it sounds, they're amazing, blah, 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 right? Nobody really pays attention to A&T's field shows like that. And it's because of the fact that it's A&T. If you took an A&T drill and you gave it to Southern,
fair.
Then it would be like, oh, this is dope, right? And then everybody would try to hop on that bandwagon. I think that I think that it's just the reality of, and I have to put it this way, Southern is the Nike of band.
Bye.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna follow, no matter how dope they might think this other is. they the model, so we gonna follow.
And
put that on a shirt.
And I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about it from the time, the time spent at PV, and the innovation and the things that I had in my brain and the arrangements that I wrote, and the truth of the matter is, it don't matter who's doing it if it ain't Southern doing it first. Or heck, I'd even possibly give it to Jackson. But for the most part, if it ain't Southern doing it first, it's people are going to be afraid to step out there and do it because they already know it's not going to get the notoriety that others and most would get. It's the unfortunate truth of realizing that, and I can't remember who told me this, and as far as this band thing is concerned, it's the unfortunate truth of playing the game. Instead of trying to be original and instead of trying to separate yourself and do something different, it's I gotta play the game in order to gain some type of interest. And so I think that's where we're at. But I don't know. I would appreciate it for me as a musician, as a director, as any billions of hat that I've worn in my time. I would appreciate it to see people stepping out and trying something different. So that's where my brain went on that.
But do you
go ahead
on the back end? But do you think some people are afraid to fail?
I don't. But see, I think it's a two-way question, right? Like,
what measures failure?
Right. That's exactly. Like if a program does it and they do it well, that doesn't mean that they failed. Now, just because the masses aren't receptive to it doesn't mean that you failed. Right. And to me, that takes it back to the conversation that we had with Dr. Sanford. Right. Like he said it best. You got to train your audience. Your audience, if your audience is used to seeing a step 2 drill and then you come out and you do a linear drill, well, of course they're going to be sitting around like, what is this? But it's going to take for you to keep doing it for them to get it and understand it. I will tell you right now, as a Legion member, you can't bring a step 2 drill in Dick Price Stadium and think you're going to get house for that. You just won't. You just won't. Now, maybe when you stand still and you park and play and you're loud and all this kind of stuff, that's a completely different thing. But when it comes to drilling in Dick Price Stadium, if you ain't doing something cool on the field or something close to what the Legion does, or heck, even I'll say it again, even A&T close to what they're doing, you're not gonna get no love on the field like that, because our audience understands that's what drilling should look like. Whereas if you go to the South and you go to the SWAC, their idea of good drilling is a step 2 drill. And anything outside of that is, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a situation where, as directors, as a staff, you have to say, all right, I'm going to step out here and be different. And I'm willing to do this in order to be able to separate myself from the rest of the pack.
I think the biggest thing is that in order for you to, and I do this with the Silks every week, we talk about what we did well last week, what we can improve upon. You have to know that there's a problem. And I don't think that most of these people understand that. And you know what? We might just be tired of seeing it, because other people might not be tired of it. I mean, we feel like the season was lackluster, but other people might not feel like it was lackluster. I'm not overly excited about the things that I saw this year, but some people may be. We might, and if they don't feel like it's anything wrong, they still getting the views, people still packing out the stands. Why am I change? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, first thing is that you got to identify that you want to be different or that there's a need to be different. And I don't know that they feel like that about their programs.
Like, I'm gonna just say this: out of all the HBCU bands, do you know we can only really count 5 bands that don't really do step 2 drills?
Name them.
Yeah,
Norfolk
I
is
can only
one.
name 2.
So Norfolk, they
Mhm.
they don't do step 2. Oh damn, I had it in my head. I had it
A&T.
A&T. That's
Mhm.
2. PV technically that's not step 2 drills.
Facts.
Um, come on, God, I had it. Well, I know that's 3 for sure. For the most part, everybody else. FAMU. I'm sorry, FAMU. That's not really step 2 drills. And it was one.
Ooh, they teeter totter.
Mm.
They teeter totter. They'll do a step 2 every now and then, and then they'll
They
pull
like a
back.
hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can deal with that. You feel me?
Yeah, because at least it ain't the same. That's what we saying.
Right.
It's,
Yeah, it's like a flow motion,
yeah.
And there was one more, but I can't think of it. But everybody else is doing step 2, and like when you really, and I'm gonna just speak for Quan. Not saying that those programs don't do it well, but where's the diversity? That's all I'm saying. Where's the diversity when it comes amongst those things? And there's really not.
Well, they feel like like Luke said, they feel like Norfolk is being Norfolk. That's what they do over there. That ain't what we do. It's not a now when we come, like when we came to Houston, we got a lot of love for that. Like, dang, y'all really out there doing stuff. But that's a more of a it's nice that y'all do that. But we not finna do that.
Right. It's like, man, look at them. They so nice. It's different, man. I like that. It's cute.
And another thing y'all don't do dance routines, do y'all?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, the hell we do. And I
hate
got tired of them too.
The one from Houston, I can't recall. I remember, Richard, I remember the Behold, the turnaround, that park and play. We was like, God damn, this sound good. Because that was the year we was all the way up there with my kids. And then I remember the drum feature, and I don't remember the dance routine.
They played 95 South.
Listen.
They ended with J. Cole 95 South.
I
But
can tell you right now, the only time I did do a dance routine with Norfolk State University is when we do them goddamn gospel shows. That was the only time.
Right. We didn't mix shaking with Jesus. We didn't do that.
We wasn't shaking it for the Lord.
We reserved those shows for the Lord. We did not do any, if you notice when they played Praise Is What I Do at the end of the Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, we didn't move. We don't move our hips to Jesus.
Yeah, so yeah, we do them dance routines, and like I said, I got tired of them. So yeah, that definitely happens. But I will say this, aside from just the drill type itself, format. I think format is an issue. I mean, we tend to, and I think Portia brought it up. Somebody brought it up, but we tend to harp on Bethune a lot. Like, we already know what to expect from Bethune. We know what to expect from everybody. Like, if you think about it, tell me one group that doesn't come out, hit the step 2 daddy, downfield daddy, step 2 daddy, or whatever, and then go straight from there to concert formation. You may get a slow tune if the band ain't there. If you don't get the slow tune, you're going right to the dancers and then right to goddamn dance routine and off the field. Now tell me I'm lying. Tell me one group that ain't doing that.
Well, we've been trying to switch it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed that. No, I noticed because I remember the first one y'all took Message out the joint, and I was sitting back like, yo, they took out Message though. That's different.
FAMU all the people was like, oh my God, where was Message in the book?
But that's a whole nother situation because the Legion and changed up how we did Message anyway, because Message wasn't before the dance routine. It was actually before Hot Ice.
Right.
So anyway.
It was but FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, they may hit that little shoulder shake. Like do a little dance routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may do that and then go back into the drill.
But that's Okay, well then, yeah, that's a different format, but it's still that's the Florida format. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. At some point, I expect for Florida Memorial to hit that same joint at some point. I mean, I think that's just the Florida way of doing things, you know. So hey,
Short shake.
why you look like you having convulsions over there?
That's how they look. Some of them.
Baby.
But that's what it's supposed to be though, because you're not supposed to shake your junk, because if you're shaking your junk, you can't see nothing. So you shake the shoulders to make the whole uniform move. So it adds to the flair. Y'all know that?
Yeah.
Y'all know that? Come on, Quan.
I know that.
Okay, well, yeah, we all right.
We from New Orleans. We ain't shoulder shaking, bro.
Yeah, y'all was
Y'all shaking everything.
y'all was trying to shake everything y'all had down there. No, that's what I learned at Willer is. That's what we did. Whenever we hit that shoulder shake, now it was boom, 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 boom.
Hey, so tell me this. Tell me why I was today years old. I didn't know that Bethune-Cookman did rock the house too.
From what I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not.
I've seen it.
What I've heard, Rock the House didn't start with Jackson State. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. So
because
somebody let me know if that's true or not. Because
I've seen Bethune-Cookman. That was when it was BCC. I've seen Tennessee State do it.
I've seen BCC do it. Yeah,
Grambling do it.
Nah, I've never seen Grambling do it. I've seen them do.
The fans been watching this show because most of them switched it up a little bit.
I've seen. I know Grambling does the. What's it? The
that chat.
No. It's the Tiger Breakdown. You've never seen them do the Tiger Breakdown? Oh,
you say Grambling?
Yeah, Grambling.
What's the Tiger Breakdown?
I got to Google that.
Yeah, go look at it. I think it's called the Tiger Breakdown.
This happens on the field. What are they breaking down?
No, they do that. They do that when they're marching in block.
Oh,
yeah. You've never seen the Tiger Breakdown?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the truth about it is the only reason why I know about it is because when I was working in Beaumont, my dance routine and announcer was a guy from Graham. So he was like, "Hey man, we got to add this to the band." And I was like, "All right, cool." And so we started doing it, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And then he was like, "Yeah, that's a Tiger Breakdown." I was like, "All right." And so I went and looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, I mean, it looks."
So why you saying like we were supposed to know what it was?
You barely knew
Whoa! Now, first of all, I've known this for at least 10 years. So hey, I'm good over here. Okay. So I've known it for a while. I thought y'all would have known by now because I thought y'all would have looked it up or something like that, or somebody talked to somebody. I apologize that y'all weren't on it. Y'all don't talk to nobody. I talk to people. I'm just saying. All right. So I mean it's pretty cool. Yeah, so Tiger Breakdown. I think that's what it's called. If I'm wrong, somebody in the comments tell me.
This must be something they did like 2 times.
No, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. Matter of fact, they do it when they come to Dallas. When they would come to Dallas and they be at the Battle of the Band Daddies, they would do the Tiger Breakdown. I think either when they march in or they would do it on the field.
I see some CSU Tiger Band Breakdown.
Yeah. And I think Portia's frozen. There we go. All right, there we go. So now she's moving.
It must not be that exciting, then. Let me see.
Look, it ain't got nothing to do with whether it's exciting. I'm just telling you that's one of the things that they do. When Quan brought up the
okay, well, what else do they do? That's exciting.
I mean, I didn't know that was part of the topic, but I mean, the thing that they do that is the most exciting is the We Ready joint, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's that for me when it comes to Grambling. As soon as I hear boom, boom,
maybe in 06.
I get a little hype myself.
Yeah, but I mean,
so, and then when they start chanting, I thought you knew, and then they hit that curse word right at the end of it. I'd be like, God dang, like everybody be hitting it. I'm like, president hitting it too. I'm like, God dang, y'all terrible. So hey, that's what they do. I mean, everybody got their little traditions. So Yeah. So, but I don't know. I think somebody said Gremlin was doing
Rock the House in 02.
no, he said Brother Moore said the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, from what I had heard, I don't think that JSU was the one who did it first, but I think that they're the ones who are most known for doing it now. So,
who started doing the score? I see Chuck. Tell us who started doing the score on the field.
here come Chuck with all that stuff.
But I'm gonna just be real.
Ball and parlay at Tuskegee. That joint dope. If you under that goddamn shed, that joint is, and then the whole crowd being that, man. Every time I see that, I'll be like, man, that'd be the only time I wish I went to Tuskegee. Just doing
that Tiger breakdown is what I just saw.
I didn't say it. Did you hear me say that it was like super sweet? I never said that. I'm just saying that that's what they do.
Say, you know what's exciting? When they hit that spin, when they marching out and they put that Mario Kart music behind it, Gremlin. When they do that spin, they be like, spin, and then somebody hit that Mario Kart meme behind it. Now that's exciting for Gremlin.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. You lost me on that.
I gotta send it to you. That's funny, bro.
Sure.
Tiger Breakdown. What's it called? Tiger what?
I think it's called a Tiger Breakdown.
Tiger Breakdown. That's what I typed in.
People in the audience, man, why y'all got me sitting up here? Yeah, it's called Tiger Breakdown. As soon as I typed in Tiger Breakdown came up. Yeah. I said, hey, I feel all right. I said, yeah. I knew I was right. Yeah. 270. That's what he said. 270. But yeah, that's what the Tiger Breakdown is. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on, man, because we gonna sit up here. See, now we gotta open up. What is everybody's traditional stuff now? I know what Norfolk is, so you ain't got to talk about Norfolk.
What do you mean traditional, like songs?
I guess traditional chants, songs.
E.T. Swamp. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Who?
E.T. Entertainment
E.T.
Tonight.
and Swamp for TV. Norfolk is
Hey,
definitely
for a
behold.
second, I thought they was trying to make that damn Eye of the Tiger, Eye of the Storm. I thought they was trying to make that the new tradition.
No, but I will land you on a little secret here. I don't know if it's a secret or not. But remember when we played the Black Panther theme?
Mm-hmm.
For a moment, we were trying to make that a school chant. That's why we started it with the Go Panthers, Go Panthers. That's why we started it with that. So
can I tell you something?
Yes.
That whole wasn't hard. I'm sorry. That thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. So that's why I didn't hit, because the students didn't think it was hard. Like it would have had to change up a little bit to really hit and last. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just being honest.
See, the thing about it was, it wasn't necessarily the arrangement itself or the music. It was just the fact that we didn't tell anybody. We just tried to come out there and hit it.
No, not necessarily,
like,
because want to know why I say that? Because P-Funk.
Y'all, I'm about to say that. Yeah. Hell no. Hell no.
Peanut butter, no jam. Why can't I think?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was always a band thing, but guess what? It's a stadium thing now.
Yeah.
But you're still talking about
Rory to come back.
But no, you're still talking about something that has been traversed.
That was before him, though.
I know, but I'm saying
something that was traversed through the years, right?
At Townview. So like when I think about that is very nostalgic when I think about Rory playing his
solo.
Anyways, yeah.
But that's something that traversed through the years too. So I mean, yes, when you're absolutely right. Like we only hit the Go Panthers daddy for like 1 year, and then we were like, all right, we done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so I think if we would have kept it going, you know, but it is what it is. But that's the secret. That was supposed to be a school chant that we were trying to put together.
Panthers, black.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Black Panther, Go Panthers, blah blah blah. All right. What TSU got the what? Torture.
Yeah, torture.
But they really don't even play it like that. Like that.
They don't.
They play it on their entrance. Yes, they do.
Not like they used to. It used to be every time. Yeah, I'm saying so.
That and neck used to be their thing too.
And that they
You know
used to
what I mean?
come from the end zone, do that back bend, that like a
Yeah.
little slow mark. They used to do that.
They did it this year. They did it this year.
But
Why this the only thing I can think
June
of.
27th.
June
Spotlight
27th.
is on my dresser, but no, it's
June 27th.
June
Yeah.
27th. Yeah. Who else got signature stuff?
Old Christmas tree.
That's they school.
That's a school song.
Is it a tradition or is it not?
Grambling.
Grambling school song is Old Christmas.
Oh, Tannenbaum.
Yeah. Every time we was at the Cotton
Old
Bowl, I'd be
Christmas
singing
tree.
"Old Christmas Tree" with.
Now that's exciting. Singing Old Christmas Tree while they're doing their alma mater. Ignorant.
Wow, I ain't trying to be funny. What they founders was thinking, man, this the lick right here.
This it right here.
This right here. This the lick right here, boy.
This one top notch, baby. You know what I'm saying? We gonna tear it up with this one. Yeah, old Tannenbaum. Yeah, man. I don't know everybody else's tradition though. Did we miss any?
That Let's Go Wildcats is my shit. I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah, bro. It do slap.
It groovy, huh?
Isn't it called duck mouth? Am I mixing two words?
Duck mouth is a FAMU cadence.
Yeah.
I'm saying somebody used to play duck mouth faithfully.
Oh,
FAMU.
The Aggie they don't even do that no more.
Yeah, it's gonna be mean. It's the Aggie lean.
It's the Aggie. I was like, oh, this is trash.
We came to play. Is that what we came to play be considered a tradition?
Huh?
Would we came to play be considered a tradition?
Yeah, Jackson.
Okay, we came.
What's we came to play? What's that?
Bum 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 ba boom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's tradition. That Aggie was garbage. I'm sorry.
Trash.
I see the drum majors in the front doing this. I'm like, that's not.
That is not sweet, bro. Not sweet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they needed to get rid of that one. That was not what's up. But hey, it is what it is. Man, I don't know any more traditions. If y'all think about them, Joyce, just go ahead and start posting them up. We got the last topic coming up, and then I'm gonna put the link in the chat so y'all can get up in here and talk y'all talk or say whatever y'all need to say, man. So let's do it right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy, man. Let's get the likes up. Let's make sure the number of likes match the number of views. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. Once again, this is going to be the last topic. I'm going to put the link inside of the chat so you can come in and talk that talk with us. All right. It's going to be
real quick. The death march that FAMU do.
Yeah. I was literally just thinking about that.
Hey man, I got a thought on that real quick, man. Go with me here. Well, I'm getting this from something that I saw. So a lot of bands, and Southern's not the only one. A lot of bands always say, often imitated but never duplicated, right?
Uh-huh.
Is it just me, or like most bands get most of their stuff from FAM?
So I wouldn't say FAM, but we're just gonna be honest. A lot of them got them from the PWIs where they got their masters from.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, think about it. Fast cadence. Think about how many people do fast cadence and fast march. That's traditionally FAM. I ain't never seen nobody do fast cadence before FAM. Ain't not one video. If you find it, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But within itself, the people who do it, you can't say often imitated if you imitating somebody else. I'm just saying. Because that means that there's a lack of the originality there. You duplicating somebody else, but then saying often imitate. Well,
I mean, I feel you, but I don't think Jackson don't do a fast cadence.
I didn't say everybody did a fast cadence.
But you got me thinking, brother. Like Southern do a fast cadence, but
Southern does one.
But TV. I mean, we play. Just
Yeah,
we play just like them.
Yeah.
It's
Sequence.
not. It's the fast
The
cadence.
whole thing.
What the
Yeah,
hell is fast cadence?
the fast cadence is actually FAM's.
Yeah, I know. I've heard it plenty of times.
Yeah.
Good.
I guess the easiest way to explain it is just like it's sped up. Like it's like 4 steps, and instead of your regular 2, that's 4 steps. Left, right.
So this not some shit we
left,
do.
Right.
No, it ain't.
Oh,
It ain't
okay, I
enough.
was like, what? Oh yeah. I've seen fam do it before. Okay.
Yeah, PV, we do the same exact one.
I mean, I think even the whistle for that is the exact.
All of our whistles are the same, except for this
Almost.
march.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, because I think TSU used to do a fast cadence because they used to do 2 of them. They used to do it was one boom, 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 and then there was another one where they actually did a fast cadence. I think I seen maybe Tennessee State do a fast cadence. I think it was Tennessee State. I can't remember, but
I'm gonna go look that up, bro.
Yeah, look that up. Here we go. I'm gonna throw this out here. I'm gonna be a butthole for a second, but I gotta do it. It's almost to me as similar as like all the sororities who be doing the train daddy, but then be like hating on the K's or hating on the alphas or whatever. But then be like, you training though? Why you training? Go find something original to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's just the way I look at it. So hey, whatever.
When my chapter went on train.
Thank you. But Portia,
and when the new girls tried, I was like,
shut it down.
Go be in somebody else's chapter. We don't do that over here. Thanks.
But
man, let them girls train, man.
No.
It's a no.
Thank you. No. Say the train, man.
Hashtag that ain't our business. Stay the hell away from it.
I agree with you. Y'all, if we supposed to be all so original, I mean, it's almost like when Rick got to Texas, he was getting upset because the alphas they weren't necessarily yakking, but in alpha when we do some of the things we kind of it looks like a yak here in Texas.
What's a yak, bro?
Never mind.
What's a yak, bro?
Because what's a yak?
I'll be honest with you, I ain't never heard yak.
I'll talk to you about it offline.
It's the body movement. He can't do it on Beyonce's internet.
We'll go too far left in a whole bunch of other parts of the conversation.
Yeah, he'll have to show you offline. He don't want to do it in front of these guests.
I ain't gonna do it. It's just I'm gonna have to explain it. I'm gonna have to break it. But I mean, even anyway, we'll talk about it because that whole Shiva mess. All right, here we go. Last topic. This is gonna be a very simple topic, and I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna probably have the same response. Maybe not. We'll see. Who was your surprise program this year? Who was your surprise program this year? You can go from either the band standpoint or the auxiliary, either one. Oh shoot, Maya, go first. My bad. I ain't calling nobody. I was just waiting. Maya, go first.
What? Okay, so I think that honestly, we I think I'm supposed to say TSU. I know I'm not supposed to say anything, but I mean, yes, that's valid. But I will, for me, yes, it's TSU 1000%. But in addition to, and because TSU wasn't more so a surprise, I expected. I'm just glad that I actually my expectations were carried out. Surprise, I'm gonna say the Divas. I'm gonna say the Divas for me because they haven't always done it for me. They have little spurts.
Who's the Divas again?
Alabama A&M.
Man.
I thought that was the Stingettes.
That's
Alabama State.
I'm sorry.
AAMU versus ASU.
I got you. My bad.
Take a second and go look at it. Go look at them real quick.
I'm going right now.
You're gonna be happy you look. Go ahead.
So I would say the Divas definitely. Wow, I'm not mad at it. I like it. I never thought I'd say it. Sorry to that man. But yeah. Wait, that's a good question. Is this positive or negative, or it don't matter?
Yeah, I just answered that. I like the question that Brother Moore asked. So I would say both. Let's say both. Let's say both.
Dang. Okay. Positively, I would say TSU and the Divas. I'm sorry. Negatively, oh man. Oh man. Okay. Negatively, auxiliary wise, Jackson State has kind of not necessarily okay, they've disappointed me. I don't know, just really hasn't been given what it's the definition of lackluster, I guess. Like, they have some moments, but nothing has just truly been like, wow. I think the last time I was truly like, woo, wow, was when I want to call her Dominique, but I yeah, is her name Dominique? It's been years.
Kayla.
When she before Kayla.
Ooh, child.
I want to say it's something with a D. I want to say Dominique, but I'm not for certain. That was the last time I was really like, okay, like this is a true
unit. Dance, y'all. That's all.
That's all. That's it. And that's all. Okay. And before that, Shankita. But Jay says now, ooh, this is a little controversial. The home team as a whole, and I say like PV as a whole. I don't want to go as far as saying negative, but I think that there's so much that could still be done. I think when we think about people who can be truly outside of the box and start to really, I don't know, go from end zone to end zone, making some swirlies, whatever, Pac-Man, I don't know. I think that somebody who could actually pull it off in the SWAC or just regardless, I think PV. But I think that we have some room to really say, like, nah, forget it. We really about to do something different. And that's my hope. I don't know if that's biased, that I want the home team to be the one, to be the school, to be like, nah, we about to truly step it up and step it out. We were getting there with the eye of the storm. You know, like that was a step in the right direction. But I think that there's a lot left to be desired, because I know that it's in them. And maybe that's very biased. So I'll say that.
Okay. All right. I feel like Portia, you writing, but who was your surprise program? You look like you was writing like. Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're about to get a list.
No.
The notes down.
Surprise program. I'm gonna do overall. I want to say Kentucky State. They've really been doing some stuff, standout stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them their flowers. Surprise. Yeah, them. I don't know that anybody else surprised me this year. I'm gonna agree. I wasn't, and I love the J sets. It just wasn't giving what it's supposed to give this year. I felt about last year too, though. I'm trying to think if anybody else like stood out to me. I agree, Edwin. I started, they kind of got on my radar last year, but I've just seen a lot from the Kentucky State this year. I don't know, other than, and I don't want it to, I'm going to leave it there. I was going to say somebody else, but I'm going to leave it there.
Well, I got an honorable mention on the negative side, if I may be able to say it.
Mention your honorable.
I'm about to say, go ahead. Yeah.
NCAT. I'm sorry. Woo, Chuck, don't hate me. I'm sorry. Maybe I just still got a little bit left over from that national battle of the bands. But I don't know. This year just really, I don't know if the expectation was just like, because what I tell Chuck, if they not flying in cars, making stuff levitate, I don't really know what else they supposed to do at this point. But I mean, even Golden Delight is not. I don't. It's just been like, okay, I get it, but I haven't been. My socks ain't been blown off. with NCAT. Sorry, Chuck, love you so much, but got to call this spade a spade, baby.
I'm sorry, when your Dallas come out, it'd be so funny to me. Quan, who was your surprise program this year?
I mean, for me, I'll just have to be honest. It was TSU. Being honest, I know. Maya said she expected them. You know, I'm pretty sure she was speaking specifically auxiliary, but I didn't expect the band to transition that quick. So shout out to that staff. Like, this is the best TSU we've seen. What is it, 2022? Almost 10 years, bro. We're just gonna be honest. Almost 10 years. I mean, they, from the aesthetics from the outside looking in, they look like a well-oiled machine. So, different eclectic book. Got to give it to them. To the point almost where it's like next year is going to be hard to top this year. But, I'm looking forward to that. So that's my positive. My negative, I wouldn't really say is a really negative, but I expected more like from I really expected more from BCU. Like I that first year, real year being in the SWAC, I expected them to, take over some things and be the BCU, but still be one of the most different and diverse bands in the SWAC, And then if I had to do an honorable mention, I think Grambling going in the right direction. Honestly, they were very different this year, in my opinion. I gotta give it to them too. Now from a percussion standpoint, dog, War and Thunder is killing it. Like, War and Thunder is killing it, bro. Like, hands down. And I didn't expect Southern, honestly, to be that type of drum line either. I'm really looking forward to that drumline battle of Southern versus Grambling. So that's my picks on it, bro.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and give my surprises here. And my actual surprise program this year, I mean, obviously, is Texas Southern. It's crazy because, we definitely as just directors and I guess music educators, band heads, whatever you want to call us, we all knew that, Brother Simmons was going to do some good things, but we didn't know it was going to happen as quickly as it did. We really didn't expect, a lot of people didn't expect it to be as quick. With that being said, I think the work he's doing, the staff that he has put around him, has really allowed that program to shine, and for me, that was a surprise for me. And like I said, when they pulled out those two pieces, the Mozart piece and the Lingus, for me, I was like, yeah, that solidified it for me. Because I'm just a left field kind of person as it relates to music and stuff like that, and so that was for me. Honestly, negatively, I'm gonna go Alabama State. For me, for the last 2 years, Alabama State has been like hitting you, just like straight up hitting you. Like the conversation about Alabama State last year and the year before was like, yo, you see them? Yo, you hear them? Did you hear that? Blah, blah, blah. And this year it was just kind of like, meh. And it wasn't as great and big as and impactful as I thought they were going to be. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Alabama State. Now, that's not to say that I think that they're terrible, but I think that my expectation for them outweighed what actually was produced. And so that's for me, negatively. That was just a big surprise for me negatively. If I come from a auxiliary standpoint, I'm gonna be honest, the surprise for me was Alabama A&M. I keep saying, like, I was not paying attention to them at all this whole year until I think it was 2 weekends ago. And I saw him and I was like, yo, they all right. And then I saw him this past weekend. I was like, yeah, they the truth. They the truth. And I said truth with an F. So yeah, I definitely can say that. I'm gonna if I'm going from an auxiliary standpoint, negatively, I'm gonna actually have to say Jackson. I expect a lot from Jackson. And it wasn't that they were just terrible, it was just kind of like, it's cool. So that's me. Here's one that I'm thinking that I know you guys are going to be interested to hear, but negatively surprised for me from a drum major perspective, J5. I had high hopes for Marvin this year, and I'm not saying that Marvin did a bad job. I've been watching Marvin since he was at Skyline, just like I was watching Nate since he was at Edna Carr. And Marvin got a lot of love this year, just from being the first Hispanic drum major and all that kind of stuff. But I think that he was following such a dynamic head drum major in Nate, because the creativity that Nate was coming up with the year prior was just like dynamic. And I think that Marvin did a good job with the squad. I'm not saying that I think the squad was trash, but I think that the creativity that Nate had and brought to the squad the prior year, I really think that Marvin just I think he just kind of dialed it back a little bit. I don't think that he did terrible. I was expecting more coming from that Nate year. And also seeing that Marvin was a part of the Nate squad for 2 years. I thought that I would have gotten a little bit more creativity out of that, but that's just where I'm at. As far as drum majors, as far as surprise good ones, I mean, I don't really have any. And that's more or less because when I look down the line of drum majors, I would probably go FAM, but even in that, I mean, it's just FAM being FAM. So yeah, I don't as far as just surprise, positive drum majors, I don't really have any. So yeah.
Hey, now I was about to say, man, but we gotta also give a shout out to the schools that's not in the SWAC or MEAC, Wilberforce. Like,
absolutely.
Give him a shout out, bro.
Absolutely.
Wilberforce. First of all, I've looked at the band. The band don't sound bad, but their percussion section, you can line up that percussion section against anybody right now, straight up. And I know y'all Norfolk people gonna take this MDF credit. Take it, y'all deserve it. They like them boys playing.
I think the percussion dude is from A&T.
He's wait.
He's from Norfolk, bro.
No, I think he's from A&T.
No, I think the one from Kentucky State is A&T. Who the percussion instructor at Wilberforce?
Oh, well, but they do have that $1 Million Funk Squad type stylistically playing.
I don't know. Somebody got somebody from A&T, but I can't remember which school.
But I think Wilberforce got the percussion and the auxiliary from
and
A&T.
the auxiliary. It is Wilberforce.
Yeah,
from A&T.
He A&T. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the head band director from Norfolk.
There's some Norfolk people on that staff.
I don't even know.
Because that's what I've seen. But okay, I'll go back to look, but
it's Norfolk people on that staff. I think three of them. I think.
But what I do know is, like, you can't sleep on them. Of course, shout out to Florida Memorial, continue to push themselves. But there are certain bands, and even to a degree, you could say Edward Waters, but they're like Wilberforce is a force to be reckoned with, honestly, in the next few years if they keep pushing like they're pushing. I think in a few years, them and Kentucky State will be a very, very good battle.
I agree. I can definitely agree with that. I want to hear it Wilberforce in person, But just from what I've heard, from video and camera and so on and so forth, I can definitely agree with you on that. I'm not going to take anything away from that. So I don't know how we're going to do this because this man sat down at the restaurant. He eating a good meal. I don't know if it's even possible for us to even hear what he's saying. He might be at the club. So we're going to try to bring him in, but if it's too loud, I'm just letting you know now, it's going to be tight. All right, so let's bring him in, man. Let's welcome Justin as usual.
It's loud in here.
Nah,
It's good, man. Y'all talked about a lot of stuff on here tonight. Some great points. I'm gonna say the first thing I don't agree with Luke. Which you had some better points. I don't agree with the season was like lackluster. I feel like it depends on how you looking at it. I feel like some bands that don't get no shine outshine. I feel like some bands that always get the shine just didn't live up to the up to par. So that way it makes the whole thing a lackluster season. Just some people did better. Now I do agree, it was an auxiliary year through and through. I just want y'all to know the Diva been kicking butt about 3 years, but y'all just hopping on this year, and I'm so glad. You know what I'm saying? Talked to the coast a while back, and made sure that I put the highlight on like last year for Magic City Classic and a lot this year. And it's gonna be a lot next year that they're going to Imitation. So there's gonna be a lot more divas y'all gonna be seeing from my standpoint. I was real upset that we didn't have a show last week because I wanted to just give Norfolk all the praise they deserve. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of Norfolk fan base now on my channel. Old women. 2 ladies checked me before the game too. They were like, smash time. Make sure you get our girls. I'm like, what is this? Oh, we from Norfolk. I was like, excuse me. I got it. I got you. So it was a great week from the game to the damn to the battle of the bands. I had no idea what they was talking about. That's why I called you, Luke. I'm like, why everybody going crazy all of a sudden? I'm like, oh snap! I seen the Facebook post, and that's when I posted it on Instagram on purpose. And I was like, okay, this is like go crazy on Instagram, and it went wild. So it was a great week for all bands last week. I'm gonna give Norfolk the credit. They popped out the right way. And just some of my fans that were down here, they were like, man, we need to see more Norfolk. So, Portia, you can take that back to that energy from the game, Dirty Diana, and that F and F on the field show. I would like to see more of that. I know y'all sound good and y'all be in tune and stuff, but that nigga Norfolk right there, that's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? So everybody did good. Kentucky State, y'all know they don't hold it down all the time. You know what I'm saying? So everybody did good. I was real happy last week. I'm gonna definitely start coming on the East Coast a lot, especially I was exhausted after the game. I went directly to Winston-Salem versus Fayetteville State. I'm gonna post that tomorrow. Y'all go check out Fayetteville State, man. Hey, to say they like just getting back, they're gonna be a problem. They really gonna be a problem. So that's what I just wanted to say in a nutshell.
You gonna tell Luke your comments about the Dizzies?
They like that. Hey, they really are good. I just want you what I noticed at the game, I said, damn, ain't nobody trying to be a superhero, but they so damn full. And when they came in on, I think it was there. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't post. They came in on one of them songs. I was like, they sound like one damn Trump, but like they really, and I really admire how like everybody picking their feet up. Even if a dude if he garbage enough, it don't look like it. So Norfolk, they really did a good job. I personally don't think that NT did as bad as people trying to make him seem. I just think Norfolk did that good. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they wasn't really prepared for that week, but the 2 field show, which I was looking forward to seeing, y'all executed very well. You know what I'm saying? I said, shouts out to them. But I like everything from Golden Delight to that's the bad. Maybe I'm not knowing. I'm on this side of the world. I didn't know how far back the beef went. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was a bystander. I'm like, okay, I posted a video of Golden Delight. Everybody might have reposted. I posted a video of the hot ice. Everybody might have really reposted that video. I don't know, YouTube numbers is different from Instagram numbers. One of them videos got 694 reshares. That's not.
Didn't I tell you? All it did was give us more likes.
I woke up, I was like, what the hell why my phone going like this? So like between that's sweat numbers. I just want you to know that's like dog J set numbers. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, okay, I'm just peeping the scene. I'm like, these girls are really, really good. That's why the niggas they at the battle, it was more heated because they did such a good job. Both of them did a good job, but that's why that battle was heated at the battle of the band. So I'm looking like, hey, y'all need to pay more attention to the East Coast bands over there. And it's coming from me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, they did swag numbers. That's a lot stated that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they was real good. I appreciate the whole weekend band. Everybody did good. And yeah.
Well, first of all, I mean, because you brought up the Dizzies, I have to speak for my section. I don't expect anything less from the Dizzy. So, but I've actually been listening to him, and me and Rick had conversations because I know Rick was down there for homecoming, and I mean he basically said kind of what I was already feeling anyway. They sound good, man. And it's by traditional standards, nobody ever tries to be the hero. It's just that's never how we were. That's not how we approach it. We always approach it section first. We had, during my time, we had 6, 7 screamers. But even during that time, we screamed as a section. Nobody was out there trying to, showboat it. We all did it or none of us did it. And as far as that whole marching thing, yeah, you're not gonna. There's a couple of sections out there you're just not gonna outmarch. Even when we got the fat dudes out there, we still gonna march. It is what it is. We gonna kill.
I think one of the, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. I think one of the most impressive things I've seen from Norfolk and A&T is those kids have a personality outside the militant. So like they're two disciplined bands. You know what I'm saying? Not saying bands I record is all disciplined, but like they disciplined from the time they was getting their food back in the back to like the time, but the least little time they got to like show their personality. That's man, I'm like, can y'all take? I don't even want to come by. Y'all want to get y'all in no trouble. That's why I made sure I put that thumbnail of them smiling and stuff. You give me the thumbnail. And what's her name? Miss lady who sang good as hell. What's her name? She was y'all Norfolk.
Miss Sanders?
Yes. She was cracking so many. That lady funny. I'm talking about funny.
Oh, yeah.
Portia, let me tell you, the practice of the mass band. I was rolling.
Oh yeah, you were standing up there by her.
I said, listen, baby, everything she's saying right, but it was a lot going on. But I like her; she's really funny, and she was saying some real stuff that like if we can have. I can see some of the topics Luke about it, and I think that it would tie in such well with that die-related band up to some of the stuff that she was just saying about like females that and the third. But like Mama had it going on, everything she was pointing. I'm like, shit, we need to change. I let her know what the song. You know what I'm saying? So she was saying some good stuff up there, but nevertheless. It was a good weekend for everybody in Norfolk. Y'all did a good job. So mainly at Norfolk. So shout out to all my new Norfolk subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I had to put my foot in that video. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah.
Yeah. First of all, when you talk to Miss Sanders is gonna give it to you straight, cut and dry. She can give it to you raw. She is not gonna sugarcoat nothing. And that's how she's always been. She was like that when I met her. She was like that now. It ain't gonna change. But no, one thing I'm glad that you mentioned, because I was gonna bring it up to you, and I'm glad you said it. I realized, like when you get a band who gets off the field and they all like in the camera, like oh, and all that kind of stuff, and the Legion just walk back past you. I was gonna say, yeah, we different, ain't we? I meant to tell you that, but I mean, that's when that's what we learn when we put that uniform on. Is work, is business. All that other stuff, we don't care about all the other stuff. Now, when that uniform come off, I'm Luke. I'm cool. When that uniform come on, I'm a part of the Legion. That's it. And so I'm glad that you actually got the chance to experience that and see it up close, man. And I really appreciate the fact that you have so many good things to say about it. I don't disagree with you. I don't think the A&T was terrible. I just think the fact that it's Norfolk and what Norfolk did just gave them the edge. So I definitely agree with you on all those points, man. So I'm glad that you went out there, man. I'm glad that you got the chance to experience that and see what it's like on that side of the earth, man. Because it's it's different over there, man.
It is. It was like I think that I think that both programs definitely. It's almost like to me. They don't play each other every year, but they do play each other every year. Or maybe just the beef and I look everything from an analytical standpoint. Take everything from this year and just like capitalize on for next year. That game gonna be so stupid. It's already on my schedule. Like I'm not missing Norfolk versus A&T. And I know I'm coming to the Norfolk and Hampton game because I gotta come to another Hampton game. But that game I'm not missing next year. So like I'm looking forward to it being another rumble in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? And it's at Norfolk. So yeah, they're gonna be fire next year. It's already on my schedule.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. I wish you would have been around during the time we were all having gym battles between us and Virginia State, and Hampton, and South Carolina State, and A&T. If you would have been around during those times, it'd have been a completely different. You would have got a completely different feel, man. But I'm glad that you've already thrown that on the schedule, man. So I definitely appreciate you for that.
No problem at all. All right, y'all. I'm gonna finish these. I'm in Houston next year. By the way, try to go to the damn game. It was sold out, man. No, Houston, University of Houston #3, and they plan to take Saturday night. So
Yep.
yeah.
Where
Yeah,
you at?
cool.
You at what was it? What, Moxie?
What is this place?
Fire spot?
Crafty Crabs.
Krusty Krab.
Crafty Crabs.
Place? Oh,
Just one about it. So they're pretty. It's like New Orleans, but it's pretty straight.
yeah. You probably smitted yourself. You probably should have called somebody before you just went somewhere.
I had to come. It was a quick trip. I'm literally driving back in the morning, but most definitely, it's just going down. What else? I'm gonna call y'all offline, but great job, all bands. Oh, last thing. I wish that they would have put Norfolk in this lineup. I wish they put Norfolk and NT in that lineup for that first battle of the band they have in January with Jackson, Southern, boy, that'd be really crazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I'm gonna holler at you. I'm going, man.
All right, bro.
All
right, man. No, I definitely agree, man. I appreciate the fact that Justin got out there and was able to see that, because my biggest thing, and then it's always been that, especially when it came down to when we were having our gym battles and stuff like that. Like, we have footage of it, but it was never footage from the people who were on, from a completely different area. It was just our footage, but it was always crazy. Me being a Texas person, being out in Virginia, I could always access footage from Texas, Southern, so on and so forth. So it's always good to have an outsider, I guess you call them outsider or whatever, but somebody who's just not from that conference in that area to be able to have that experience. So I think that's super dope. Man, let's go ahead and bring the next one in. Next brother, brother KB, the band head, man. I've been watching the last couple of videos that he's been doing. So let's bring him in. What's going on, brother?
What's good?
Man, ain't nothing, man. What you got for us?
Hey, thank y'all for bringing me on the platform. I really love y'all platform, and keep doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's awesome for real. But the one thing, the course, I'm sorry, what you about to say?
No, I was saying absolutely appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, for sure. The one question that I had, man, I actually did a reaction to the Texas Southern versus Jackson State game. And somebody left a comment that was very, very just alarming to me. They said, "Snarky Puppy is not swag." Exactly.
Okay.
We don't have no comments for that. Good music is good music.
Well, see, look, I have a comment for it, because I think I may have seen that comment or something similar to that comment. I think that's when we start getting into these situations of defining what a band head is, right? Like, and I say this all the time, band heads back when I was marching used to be the people who were in the band and the musicians, right? Like, but now band heads are like just random people, just, who don't have any instrumental or music background. It's just whatever, right? But I also think that the way that we're going as far as marching band from the traditional style, HBCU, whatever style you want to call it, I prefer to call it traditional, but some people call it show style. But the way that we're going, I think is so far left, because we define good music as rap daddies. That's what we define. If it ain't a rap daddy, it ain't something that's in the top 10, then we consider it not good. I think it's almost as similar as, I can't remember what battle it was. I think it was the Southern Jackson battle. And, some groups, I think Jackson played something from like the 90s or something like that. I can't remember what song it was. And hearing the comment was like, "Man, that's an old 90s tune. You can't play that in no battle." And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what kind of sense does that make? Now, I do agree. There are some songs that you probably shouldn't play in certain battles. I mean, I don't want you to play Neck in the Fifth. Like, this doesn't make any sense. All right. But to hear some of and see some of the comments that people have is so ignorant, because of the fact that I don't even think that they are even caught up on A, the history, B, what good music is. So that's where I stand on that.
And I think part of the problem is when I was in the band, and I thought the point of the fifth quarter was to flex, to show your range, to show, you know, your skills off, not to just play everything loud. I don't know how many, I mean, fifth quarters, we would pull out stuff we knew people couldn't play. A march,
Right,
something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got no response for this. What you gonna play back? You know what I'm saying? Now it need to be loud, and to Luke's point, it need to be a rap daddy. To me, this is dumb. We're not going anywhere. We're not showing off any skills. We just playing loud. That's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. That's when you saw on that field and in those fifths was, I'm gonna play some shit you can't play back, or I'm trying to make it hard for you to have a response to this. That's I don't know where we're going, but that's crazy to me.
Hey, to add to that, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you, bro.
To add to that, like the zero quarter would be marches and different things like that. Like you're showing your musicality from that point of view, right? The fifth quarter was all about non-returnables, and we've lost that. Like the fifth quarter was like, I'm gonna play some Tina Marie, It Must Be Magic, or at that time, Getaway, and different things of that nature. And I think real talk, we have to start seeking and finding songs that are in albums that may not be a single on the radio, or the top 10 on the iTunes charts. That's why I have to respect Texas Southern for playing the Snarky Puppy or the Lingus or the Mozart piece. Like, they have an eclectic book. Just like when people was hype about when Southern played Something From My Heart. Isn't that from the 90s?
That was it. That was the song that they played. And somebody in the audience was like, man, that's from the 90s, man. You can't play it. I was like, what?
But do it sound good? And you talking about you can't play a march in the fifth if it's some shit that the other band can't play? Why I can't?
But you gotta remember.
My thing is it good?
Exactly.
And if you can't play what I just played on you, you can play something loud, but you still took this L. And we still leaving out of here a better band than you.
I.e. when in the beginning of this year, when LSU played Southern, some people was like, hey, LSU pull out this like Spanish piece. Technically, some people say they won that fifth quarter. So that's the purpose of the fifth.
See, but that goes back to people not being well versed on the history, right? Because a lot of people forgot that Jackson played Malaguena with the trumpet solo in it. Like a lot of people don't realize that. Like, that was a fifth quarter tune.
And what's your response to that? They played it in the fifth because what the hell you playing back to that? Nothing.
You're not gonna play nothing back to that.
Unless you gonna play that back and it sound as good. This a L, bro.
Facts.
And I'm sorry, they could have played that Lingus against anybody.
That's
who's
true.
Playing back? Who's playing something that's comparable to that?
I mean, Jackson State, they responded back with conga, and I feel like that was a good response.
Now, listen, I'm not saying it's not a good response. I'm not saying that at all, because conga is, with everything that's in conga, it's not like a bad piece. But between the chord changes, meter changes that's within Lingus,
that's true.
What do you have in comparable to that? That's nothing. True. Nobody has anything comparable.
And that should be the goal of the fifth. I'm trying to stop you. I'm trying to play something to say we can pack this shit up and go home. Now we just playing rap songs that's loud as hell. You can't hear nobody. It's just loud. What are we doing here? Just blowing our face up. We can go. I'm ready to go.
Honestly, I enjoyed the piece. I mean, I'm from Dallas. So, UNT right up the way. I know Sean Martin and all that. I be at the Profit Bar jamming with all them cats when they come around. And to hear a band even try to attempt that tune, I'm just like, man, I'm a professional musician myself. I play the drums and I've done jazz fusion and all of that. When I practice that with my bands, it's like, bro, we literally sitting there like trying to get this.
Trying to get through it. Yeah.
So to hear a marching band actually get through it, attempt it, and actually sound good with it, and then to hear that guy just compose it, I'm like, arrange it. I'm like, bro, like, come on, bro. You got to give him his flowers. That was awesome.
But that's what I said when Quan brought it up earlier today. I wasn't even talking about whether it sounded good or not. They one, attempted it, two, started it, three, ended it. Like, you made it from the beginning to the end with little to no casualties within there. So, like, what are we talking about here? And you know, once again, I think that at some point we have to be able to say, listen, we have to define whose words are we really listening to? Because I think there are way too many voices out there who think like those people. There are way too many voices, the louder voices, who think like, man, that song is trash. What is that? And I think that's where we have the biggest problem. I think that's where we are slowly losing the quote unquote culture. And I say this all the time. We talk about the culture so much and wanting to hold up the culture, but then refuse to see and understand the fact that our culture, or the culture, is going in a completely odd way.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, but to add to that, kind of like to one of our comments we made earlier, Luke, those three bands have to be one of those bands to play it to be acceptable.
That's true.
That's true.
Because remember that year that PV played the jazz musician that died not too few many years ago. Was
Chick Corea?
Yeah, Chick Corea. Like, what's that name of the piece? Was it Spain? Spain?
Yeah.
That's that was a Dr. Sanford arrangement, by the way. That we
so watch this though. It didn't get the same type of traction, and it was played good, bro. See what I'm saying? But then this summer, who played it? What mass band played it? Georgia.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? It's like we pick and choose, bro. Like, that's my only issue. If Southern, Jackson State, and now Texas Southern plays any piece, it's accepted. If another band plays it, like if FAMU play it, like, I'm not gonna lie, people expect FAMU to be musical, being honest. But if any other swag band plays it, they whack, bro. Because there's other bands that honestly in the past that have done it, but don't have the same type of reception as those top three bands. And that's the problem. We pick and choose because we're more concerned about the bandwagon aspect than was it good or not. That's my issue.
You said it right there, bandwagon group think. That's pretty much all that's pretty much all it is right there. But we got to challenge the musicality, man. I'm all about expansion and just growing. You know, I'm a professional musician, so I'm always trying to get better. So I'm just like, bro, like, they're pushing the culture. Like, what's wrong with pushing the culture? But I understand doing something new and, you know, doing something foreign, people not going to understand it. So there's going to be a lot of backlash. But I appreciate everybody at Texas Southern that's doing it and pushing it and putting out new things. And also at Southern, you know, the Beast Taylor and Kenneth Collins, them with their arrangement. I appreciate that, man, because they're pushing the culture. You can tell, like, those pieces, it's like you got to sit down, you got to work on that, you got to practice that. And also the people at Norfolk as well. I check them out as well. Like, I love the musicality. I love the Dizzies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, it just surprises me every time I hear it in the execution that's going down. So I mean, I'm just come on, we gotta do better. We gotta do better.
Absolutely, bro.
But definitely thank y'all for having me on, man. I continue to do y'all show. I love it. I listen to the podcast as I'm working out and everything. So keep doing y'all thing, man.
Man, appreciate it, man. You know you're welcome back anytime, my bro.
For sure, for sure. Peace.
All right, man. Time to Smits. I don't know how I did that. Time to get ready to wrap. And I'm not talking about somebody going for a couple bars. Time to get ready to wrap it up and get ready
Sean
to go.
can't come in here tonight. I had a question for him.
I don't even know if he's still in the chat because I ain't seen him say anything in a minute. But I do want to say this though, man. We were talking about Greek life just a minute ago. Shout out to brother Deontay Kennedy. He just crossed over into D9 land, the brother of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So I want to definitely give a shout out to him.
Say shout out to my little brother Desmond, who just crossed into the greatest fraternity of all time, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, he a big 8 freight train, you dig? So shout out to my dog. 14K.
Okay. Well, I didn't know we were giving other shout outs, but all right. Well, then shout out to one of my crafts from high school, Bryce Connor. He just crossed over into Alpha Land. So shout out to him, A5 young brother.
Welcome to the house.
There we go. So there we go.
Shout out to Portia. She's still Zeta over there. Just keep it going.
Child, I'm barely doing everything at this moment. Okay, this long season. Ass tired, boss.
And I want to say shout out to Portia again for not training and not letting her girls train. I appreciate you so much. For me, I'd just be like, man, could we just not train? If you ain't alpha, don't train. But I real quick, because I'm seeing this comment. I disagree with you, actually, brother Amos. When SU played Bohemian Rhapsody, it was everywhere. Everybody was gassing it. As a matter of
Welcome to the Jungle.
But as a matter of fact, people start looking up Queen. Queen numbers went up because a lot of people didn't even know what Bohemian Rhapsody was until they played it. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
Also, to add to your point, brother Luke, you remember when A&T they played the theme to Rocky?
Yep.
Right? It didn't get no traction. Southern did it like a year or two later. Everybody was like, they the first ones to do it. That's what I'm saying, bro. People pick and choose. I'm not knocking them because they have that type of cachet. But we have to start giving people credit where credit is due, bro. Like, that's my issue.
I was gonna say something else, but I'm a hold that comment. All right, we got to get ready to get out of here because people got to charge their laptops and computers. Hey,
people gotta put the tape back into their daddy top drawer.
I don't.
What did I miss?
I don't know.
I think that was from the side conversation.
That was from the side conversation. You know what I'm talking about. That's what it is.
Hey man, listen. We all got here some kind of way.
Drip drop.
Yes,
drippity drop.
Yes, sir. It's all about them grits.
That was a bop, yo. That song from Empire.
It was.
And that first album really slapped though.
He dropped.
Like, hey, that joint went.
Hey, yeah. I used to sing that joint around the house until Camille got tired of me singing it. Man, let's get ready to get out of here because we sitting up here. We'll have a whole another set of conversations because we ain't seen each other in a month of Sundays. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get on out of here. Let's close it out like we always do. You just got your nails did. Are those fresh? Oh, okay. All right. Well, Maya, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Miss y'all, this was fun. Get your tickets. Ari Lennox is in concert next year. I got mine. You better get yours. That's really good.
What's funny is I was looking at that earlier. I was like, oh Lord, I gotta get one of these dates.
Oh yeah, you got to do that. You got to do that. My faith will be in the place. I hope y'all's are too. But no, this was fun. What's funny?
I'm just listening to what you're saying. That was it. That was it. That was the joke.
That's culture-esque.
Yeah.
And I want somebody to pull an Ari bop out. Somebody need to write and play it.
I need to play some Esperanza Spalding. I ain't heard that yet.
Now you might. I'm with you when you're right.
So
a little Snow Allegra.
Anita and Usher. Oh, Anita and Usher. Yeah, I heard Usher was good his last couple of shows. I want to go see him in Vegas though.
Jill might be coming on tour next year. She teased something today on Instagram. I know she's doing one show in Hollywood in June.
We giving a lot of free promotion in here.
Hey. Oh, we showed out. Just kidding. Love y'all.
I'm just saying, you know.
Just kidding.
You know, they can, you know, pay to go ahead and get some promotion in, but
that's true.
Speaking of Anita, I mean, well, no, Usher. My wife was trying to go see Usher in Las Vegas. And then I saw
we need to talk because I want to go see him in Vegas too. I heard it was a movie.
Yeah, my sister went. She said,
I saw one clip and I said, nope, you ain't going. There's too much sin in that daggone strip poles. It's just too much sin. It's too much sin now.
She got eyes for a reason.
The Lord said you move away from sin. If you
I sure want to go.
You don't
I don't know that I want to be a sinner, but I sure want to
go. Exactly.
I'm sorry. I just saw the stripper pole and I was good.
Well, we not gonna be on it. We just watching it.
It's some cheeks out there. It's Usher
it
singing.
Ain't gonna be our cheeks.
It's Usher singing.
Watch it.
It's Usher singing and booty cheeks out wide open.
But I'm gonna be looking at Usher.
It's too much sin. No. We'll go to church.
I heard
that'll be a church day,
and I want to go.
We're gonna go to
church. Have any of y'all ever heard of Jacob Collier?
Yes,
bro. Hey,
bro. I've been listening to Jacob Collier since before he had an album, since when he was just a YouTube dude.
Bro, that song "He Won't Hold You."
Yeah,
bro. Have you went back and listened to his?
I listened to a lot of his stuff. He's been doing for a while.
Hey, his theory is crazy, bro.
No, his theory is nuts.
That's what we need to start arranging.
That's a whole nother conversation, man. Quan, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture, Doc?
Man, God is good.
Yeah, God is good. Definitely.
Like real talk, we've gotten through a football season unscathed. Bless God, you know, we're still here. My birthday is coming up around the corner. I'm thankful for that, and I'm always reflective when it get close. I'm just excited, bro. I may hit Bayou Classic. I don't know, but you know, I'm excited, man. Let's get it ready for concert season. It's that time, and we're gonna leave it at that.
Okay, he did a mic drop on that. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Shout out to the auxiliaries. I'm gonna be expecting a lot more next year. Keep going. Continuing to see more. Continuing to incorporate your color guard in these shows. I'm very excited about that. On a more serious note, you outgrow friendships, and that's okay. Know who your circle is. Everybody can't go. And so I just feel so sorry for that young lady who died out of the country with people who were supposed to be her friends. Know your circle. And everybody ain't your friend. And there are some people who are your friend for a season. If their season ends, you end it. Because holding on to people too long can have detrimental consequences. I just want to say that because that thing messed with me. You go out of the country with people that's supposed to be your friends and don't make it back. Don't hold on to people who are no longer serving you. That's it.
So I recently read that and saw that, and I was like, with someone who has daughters and just children in general, that just, it floored me. Like it already bothers me sending my babies to school, just kind of knowing the things that have happened in school. But Lord, because I know my babies are gonna get older one day and they're gonna be like, Daddy, can we go? And no, you can't.
And to be honest, I never understood. I've always liked to travel. And I started really doing it without my parents when I went to school. And my dad would be so worried. And I used to be like, what is wrong with you? Like, chill out. I'm going and I'm coming back. I actually called that man today and say, he said, I wasn't worried about you, but I didn't know these people you was with. Now that you older, I've met your friends and I know that you know how to pick people. But people can be, the closest people to you can be your downfall. More often than not, it's people in your circle. I just feel so sorry for her that it wasn't an outsider that made her meet her demise. It was her best friend. Oof.
But then you record it.
Ah!
But you record it though.
We got to do better as a people, man. That's just, yeah. I'm sorry to switch it to a somber note, but I think we have quite a few college students and young people who watch this show, and all history is not good history. And it's okay to let people go.
I mean, I will say this. I don't mind you going where you need to go. I know I started one way before Maya came in and threw the whole groove off. But I know I started, one way, and it's okay for you to bring those things up because those things are necessary. Us being older, we've had our experiences and we've seen some things and we've been a part of some things. So I think that we also have the availability to try to give as best advice as we possibly can. So, I don't mind those conversations at all. It's definitely a tragic situation. It's a sad situation. It's a tragic situation. And I truly hope that, let me say this. I just pray that, I pray that her parents find peace. That's as a parent, that's what I'm gonna say. And I know it's gonna be difficult. So yeah. My final thoughts for today. The first thing I want to say is I appreciate everybody who stopped through today, who watched the show today. We were gone for 2 weeks, man. It was difficult being gone for 2 weeks, man. It was kind of weird on Wednesday, just kind of sitting and not having a show. That it kind of was weird for me, but I had to get through what I was getting through, and my family had to get through it. So we had to do what we had to do. But I will say this: I had to change my color in my background today because today the Rockets played Dallas, and we have won our third game in our third NBA game. So we whooped Dallas's, and I'm happy for it because I can care less about Dallas. All right, but yeah, so Rockets, I'm excited.
I did want to say one more thing. Shout out to our listeners. I don't want to call them fans. That's weird. Our listeners. 2 people found me after the Battle of the Bands and was like, "Hey, I'm really big fans of the show. I appreciate you all's feedback, your perspective." And they was also telling me how good the Silks did. But I really, really, really appreciate that. Like, that was dope. I didn't know how that would feel, but I thought that was really, really dope that they found me and told me they was fans of the show and that they appreciate our perspective and to continue doing what we're doing. So shout out to them.
Absolutely, man. That's super dope. That makes me smile. That makes me feel good. So yeah, shout out to every single person who watches. If you watch us live, if you watch us after the whole day is done, man, shout out to y'all, man. And if you ever see us, don't be afraid to come up to us. Well, if you're crazy, stay away from us. But if you just on some hey man, I kind of what Portia experienced, and I think Quan said the same thing. He's experienced that as well. I ain't never experienced that. So, you know, I guess I ain't that cool. But no, man, shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys for sticking with us, man. You know, this whole year, and now it's been a year and some months now. It's just been a very, very interesting journey. So I thank you guys for continuing to stick with us. Keep watching, man. If you haven't been by the store yet, I always say that go by the store, www.realtalkthattalk.com. You can use code HBCUBand for 30% off of your purchase. You are absolutely right. Nobody likes me. All right. Also, please make sure you check out the Patreon, man. We will be back next week. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving, right? So we'll have a show next week, but we ain't gonna have a long show next week because I know people gonna be cooking and probably around family and stuff like that. So we'll have a show next week. We just won't have a long show next week. All right. So because I want people to get back to their families and stuff. All right. Other than that, man, I ain't got nothing else for you. This has been a great show. I don't know what the heck happened to Quan, but I'm pretty sure he's okay. Other than that, man, we will see you guys on next week.